to get your information. To the spoon, to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just do the spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just do the spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, do the spoon. You want to know what is happening in Monrovia, do the spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just do the spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, do the spoon. Yeah, do the spoon. Yeah, do the spoon. You from Funjama, Maryland, do the spoon. Yeah, do the spoon. If you eat keep on crunchy like my brother, do the spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, do the spoon. Yeah, do the spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What I want? Yes, what you got today?
Spoon TV.
Yes, what you got today?
Spoon TV. Spoon
Ba-da-ba-di-da-di-da. Skiddy-biddy-biddy-da-ba-do.
Spoon TV. Spoon entertainment.
Go to there. Go to there.
On the spoon to get
Yes, what
your
you
information.
want.
On the spoon to be
Yes, what you want.
Spoon, spoon television.
Yes, what you want.
Spoon radio station.
Yes, I, a special one from the CEO, Stanton with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band. Charges on the beat.
On the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just do the spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just do the spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, do the spoon. You want to know what is happening in Monrovia, do the spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just do the spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, do the spoon. Yeah, do the spoon. Yeah, do the spoon. You from Funjama, Maryland, do the spoon. Yeah, do the spoon. If you eat keep on crunchy like my brother, do the spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, do the spoon. yeah, Tuto spoon. What, yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, 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 kilibamba. What I want? This one you bought today.
School TV. School
This one you bought today.
School School TV. School School TV. School entertainment. On the spoon to get your information. On the spoon to be Spoon television. Spoon radio station.
Yes, sir. A special one from the CEO, Stan Tungle with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band. Charges on the beat.
On the spoon to get your information. On the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. The children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moreover, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Vanjama, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat kepa, gradually, my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. What, yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, 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 kilibamba. What I want? This one you bought today.
School TV.
This one you bought today.
School TV. School
Okay, folks, welcome. It's good to be back here again with another edition of your premier talk show in Liberia, the Spoon Talk. Wherever you are and whatever you are doing, please invite someone to listen, someone to watch alongside you. Calls as usual. The show promises to be very, very interesting. My name is Yekezi Robert, sitting in this beautiful, beautiful Friday evening as your producer. Let's now go over to the guys there to commence the show. Hello, Dr. Richardson again.
Dr. Richardson is still in the back. Okay, we have a guest tonight.
You have a guest tonight?
Are you hearing a guest in the back?
Oh, that's good. You're smart.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm temporarily watching my grandbaby. So we'll do this. Mr. Falcone is going to come in. He's going to be moderating until the baby quiets down. So how are you guys doing today?
Good. I'm good. Like us, Chris.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
good.
James, you
I'm
good?
good.
Yeah, because let's just roll. Jesus Christ. Let's just roll into the trending news. I'm going to mute myself and get off the camera until Falcon gets in, okay?
All right.
All right.
Our new guest tonight.
We're still hearing a Gaza.
Yeah, the guest getting ready. He's taking his seat.
All right. Yeah. So I mean, today is not really a news day in Monrovia in Liberia at large. Today is a holiday. I'm not in any way trying to say that during holidays there's no news, but today is not just a very newsy day. But just to bring you up to speed with some of the few happenings in the country. Today, in the Soul Clinic community, there was a little bit of tension there early this morning. And this tension was prompted by the reported shooting to death of a motorcyclist early this morning at 5 a.m. Accordingly, this motorcyclist was attacked, by some, group of young people believed to be Zogos, and he was shot in the head, and
By the Zogos?
by the attackers who are believed to be Zogos. Yeah. So according to information, he died instantly. And this guy, like I said, is a motorcyclist, and the motorcyclists in Soul Clinic and other adjacent communities there, when they heard about the news, they got very, very angry. As a matter of fact, according to the report, they made away with his motorbike after, shooting him. So when the motorcyclist got the information early this morning, they went to the nearby ghetto in the community where they believe or claim that, accused the guys there of carrying out the act. They wanted to launch a counterattack against them, but there was a police intervention later on that quiet down the situation. Yeah, so that's the unfortunate incident that occurred early this morning in the Soul Clinic community. And also, you want to come in? Okay.
No.
All right. So also the political leader of the Movement for One Liberia Party, Madam Mandela Cooper, she's vowed to minimize corruption and end the culture of impunity in the country if she's elected president of the country. And she said she would do that.
No, I'm reading something on my phone.
Yeah. So she says she will do that through strengthening the rule of law. If she's elected, and she says she's going to prevent convicted officials of government, those who've been convicted of corruption, prevent them from going with impunity. And she said strengthening the judicial system to conduct trial on convicted government officials who are involved in corruption without interference from the two other branches of the government will give the judiciary some level of independence. And she, at the same time, criticized, the National Elections Commission for conducting the biometric voter registration in 2 phases, according to her. It's a cheap way in her word. Is a cheap way of conducting the process, and it's something that's going to discourage Liberians from turning out. So far, so good. Those are some of the trending happenings in the country.
Yeah, thank you. Honorable Fagon?
Well.
Honorable Fagon, it appears there's somebody who's ready to put more of Chairman Musa Bedete or the Cummins team. He appears like a man who is ready to fire them.
No. Because, first of all, how you guys doing? Welcome, Leo, and welcome, Good Day, as well as my own man, Yekezi, who slept until around 12:30 this afternoon. Whole country that are people, all the news that going is over there. If you go to Musa Hassan Belete page, you will see a wife call him in the living room. James go there, you will see the picture of his supposed to and asking to what going on. Because about the Hakimi story, you hear about it?
Oh, we're coming to that story.
All of them. You're coming to open a canteen in the country. Go on Musa Belete page. A wife calling. He saying now in the living room explaining.
Explaining what he
why you get the money? Who need the money in? We put the horses and in the men in. Oh, Hakimi story.
She also asked who he put the debt and all the debt into because when he's collecting the money inside,
all the debt they go to the man. I don't believe that. They're not collecting our what? But it's we like to lift the airport story. Are you guys aware that the security of our international airport has been outsourced or has been outsourced to a Ghanaian firm that somehow we are told is alleged to have Russian backing? Are you guys aware? The first story that broke, maybe if James can remember, was about an Arab group. That one part they fled and they said ran away, but they said they still want all the thing that they went through. But now, and I'm going to supply James with the documentations to substantiate our claims, fully signatured, the releases from the RIA.
I think I have it.
Very good. We'll go to that story. It will form the crux, the cream de la cream. But again, you can see the 2 stories.
This is what you're talking about, right?
Oh, that one there, brother.
Yeah, I have everything.
Hey. But that one would be sufficient. That one, when you read it, say enough to make you cry. Because you look at the tape that March 1.
Yeah, let me take it from that quick.
Take it from that quick way. March 1, you wrote the people in the post said it was star May 1st. But I know Leo coming, when he read the talk, I would just call my son off asleep. Because he will kill today, I'm telling you. It's not fun politically. Because Leo coming to say, this is what I've been telling you about system. How can you award contract to somebody when you don't have business registration, tax clearance, security clearance, nothing? How you get contract to people? Then you ask them to bring an agreement with a consult. How Leo coming as? Oh my God. The colleague Martin Hayes. I want you to share it in the chat room, Leo, Good Day, so Leo can click on it and get the chance.
It's in the chat room.
To read that part. While he reading it, you can see that the only 2 case story in our whole country today.
I think I said those are some of the stories in the trending stories in Monrovia.
Okay, let me ask you the other question. Your man Colette, he can call you to complain?
Who Colette?
Oh, so you working with no Colette in that place?
Colette can all call me to complain about
I just ask you because they say Baron that was his birthday. I know what he drink when Senator Good Day will put on the screen. He play with us. As if to say, you don't even know on the platform. So
Who
James
Barra?
had to go and go tell people, say they gave him 400 US. And the reason why James did it, because Jim wanted to attack for all his debt paying.
Barra came my invite and said, you want for people to kill me in Liberia, and I get 400.
But on a much more serious note,
Mhm.
I want to welcome all of you guys. It's about 4:20 here. And we're going to start off by, normally as we do, talking about the proliferation of arms, the expansion of ghettos, and the usage of drugs, the impact and effect on our country under this government. I am not saying there were no ghettos during the previous government. I'm not running propaganda here. But if there was 5 ghettos during Ellington, knowing A.B. Kroma, knowing what do you call the other guy, Gregory Coleman, knowing the other gentleman, Clarence Massaquoi, 3 police directors who would not tolerate that nonsense. If there were 5 on Ellen, I guarantee you today there are 25 ghettos on George Weah. Just simply put, all ghettos in the country multiply 5 times. And the reason and evidence has shown $100 million worth of cocaine. 3 weeks later, another $40 million worth of cocaine. The question is, how were these drugs coming in and we didn't see it? But for people to take a motorcycle from a man and then shoot him in the head, take the motorcycle, where are they getting these weapons from? James, you may recall, there was an incident at the Douala market where police responded at the ghetto area there, and the guys challenged the police on the main road to exchange
we
fire.
even covered our event.
Thank you.
Yeah,
How
we
do
covered
you
our event.
exchange fire with police? If I'm not mistaken, 2 or 3 of them died. So again, Leo, I will start with you. Drugs is ravishing our country. The proliferation of guns all around the place, weapons, as seen in the last couple of days. They even found some in Nimba. And the complete spread of ghettos and usage of drugs in the country. What sayest thou?
Thank you. Greetings to everybody and to all of our viewers everywhere. Greetings to all of you. Good to see everyone. So I don't even know where to start. Let me put it that way, because there's just a whole lot going on. Just in Monrovia alone, the amount of ghettos that we get, just in Monrovia, I'm not even going too far, just right in Monrovia alone, it's a serious problem. And I guess the problem is that nobody cares. How can you get a law enforcement arm, but you not get the prevention side and because the reason you get law enforcement is supposed to be the people who don't take advantage of the opportunities available, so not get entrapped in some of these things. But when people have absolutely no choice, you got no treatment, you got no programs, you got no rehabilitation programs, nothing, but you just got a DEA passing around, just catching people. The prisons are full, you got no space to put anybody in jail. So nobody is afraid of consequences. Where you will carry them? You got nowhere to carry them. Where you carry them? South Beach? I think the prison garden center of South Beach will start rejecting people now because they have no space. So you live in a country where there's no pathway for even people who genuinely want to get out of drugs. And people who even just find a way, trying to see if they can get out. Where do they go? There's really nowhere. And no one seems to care. That's part of the problem. And as long as we're in that space, I can tell you, I told someone the last time, we have started planting the seed for the next civil war in the Republic of Liberia. Everybody like to say, oh, we're not for a war in the country again. It's a lie. We are ripe, and we are continuing to plant the seed for the next civil war in Liberia. Anytime you see crime rate start to escalate at this level, anytime it gets to the point where crime becomes a means of survival for majority of your population, whether it's stealing, jacking people back, armed robbery, you put all together. Let me give you a statistic that I just found out this few days. I was working on a report. There's about 70,000 people in Liberia on official payroll. Of the 5 million, there's only about unofficial payroll where they're collecting money. It's not more than 100,000 people. So imagine you have a population where, so that means every one person responsible for like 7,000 people. So, imagine if the people that are on payroll. So basically, even being employed or having a job means you're still not capable of surviving on that. You're going to have to go find something else. And those payrolls are not like, living wage or so. These are people just literally making it by the seats of their pants. Sometimes they don't even get paid. Sometimes their entire salary can't even pay the rent for the month, the entire salary combined. We are planting the seeds for the next civil war, and that is the reason why this election is as crucial and important, because it will define whether or not we slide back into a more disastrous situation that we came out of.
Good day. What's your comment to that?
Basically, like you said, right? During the Unity Party's administration, you had Abraham. You had what's his full name?
A.B. Kurman.
A.B. Kurman. You had Abraham Kurman, who was very, very effective.
And Gregory Coleman at the time.
Yeah. A.B. was the 102. A.B. was all out there. Even motorcyclists at the time, they will tell you that when A.B. is on Broad Street, that guy will be trying to use at least McDonald Street or Ronald Street, not to even go around Macklin Street. If he's around Broad and Macklin Street, that guy will be using around Asmont Street, not to go around A.B. Kurman, because A.B. was not working with them. Because Mary Broad, at the time when she was at the Monrovia City Hall, she had no time for them. She was not calling them for event, and she was not collaborating with them to say, I need to go to the ghetto guys. In fact, she was very effective in moving into those places
and breaking them down.
Yeah, those makeshift places to break them down. But today, what's happening? What the police doing? Is the national police really moving after these guys? 102 is my friend, but his hands are tied. Is 102 ready, free to move to those places and get rid of those guys, even the motorcyclists? No. Why? Because of politics. At the end of the day, they will say, these guys are the same people who will vote for us. You'll let the guys be. They will do everything on the surface. Things are not happening the way they were happening yesterday. So the only way these things will start happening, and we will get rid, or we will minimize ghettos in Liberia or in Monrovia, if I may say, I think those in government will have to stop collaborating with these people.
James, I want to, if you don't mind, quick for 1 minute, let me just respond to a few things here, James, that you said. Mm-hmm. We need to stop excusing people. That's part of my issue, I always say. You see me? If Eugene Fagon call me and say, Leo, I need you to kind of read a book for me. I'll look at the book, the words in the book, too BB for me. I know how you want to pronounce it. I will be the first person to tell Eugene Fagon, and Honorable Fagon, thank you, but let me be honest with you. I'm not the right man for the tax because I know what I'm able to actually do. Or I will tell Eugene Fagon, say, I'll look at the book, Eugene, I will need some help. And, before I read a book, can you put me in a tutoring program for 1 week? And, because I need to practice and rehearse my skills if I really want to take on the challenge. No, I gave Eugene Fagon this overzealousness and pretend like I got everything locked down. Eugene Fagon bring me on, I go in the public to go read a book now. I standing looking at the word, I can't pronounce it. And Eugene is saying, what am I saying? In Liberia, I understand how difficult things are. I'm not saying people might quit their jobs. But James, there has to be some level of accountability. Even the Mary Brown model. I'm not a fan of the Mary Brown model. It does not work. It's instant gratification. Mary Brown will do her best. Go to all these ghettos, break down all these ghettos, then she go home. Then she leave, we'll go back to square one. Another 6 month campaign again. We go collect all the electric wire. Then she go home. Then we go. It does not work. That's not effective. That's crisis. So your whole life you just keep managing crisis as a government. That's where I have my problem even with the previous government. Don't get me wrong. In the middle of crisis, you need some of those robust interventions right away. But you clear all the people from the plane, then you finish, you go back home. Then 9 months later, we repeat the process. Another time we repeat that's the jungle way of doing it. So put the systems and processes in place. If the government is serious, Let them put the resources in place. We don't blame anybody right now. Let's blame the security apparatus. But when they catch the people and break the plate, what they will carry them gyms? They will go right back there the next day. Nowhere to carry them.
Thank you. Thank you. And let me welcome Dr. Francine Chenoweth Richardson. You know, Ellen Johnson said he made a team where they putting on a show of famous. I hope you guys are taking note. Dr. Francine is making a special kind of hater famous. And I hope people can get rich because if she design it and sell it, that fashion, everybody will get rich. It's a lot of cap. But, you know, yeah, the hater. But having said that, before Dr. Richardson take over, let me just say this, and especially to what James said. James, even though you said my brother Marvin Sakohen is star, Marvin Sakohen open wide because we have over 1,000 ghettos.
I did not conclude.
No, okay, wait. I just want to say something.
But at least you
You're
said
right.
it, man, star.
No, I know what James saying. The last thing we saw on Broad and Depot Street, Fina went there and told the people, say, they must come for money. You remember the incident, the riot?
Yeah.
The men went there for the money. They never got the money. They start breaking into people's stores, breaking people's stalls. And if you go down to chastise them, of course, Fina, looking at the Chief Justice, you're going to get in trouble with Fina. And then you get in trouble with the president because Fina is sitting right next to the president. But what I'm saying is that there are measures that we take to serve as deterrence. Look at the motorcyclist. You can't call that one killing. He was executed. His bag was taken from him and he was executed. It's just period. When people have such a power, I was in Liberia. I know what happened. They got handle Hour 1, Hour 7, Hour 2, Hour 3. These are all investigative codes for the senior officer. Leo, my assistant minister car got broken into. Daniel Thomas. He was confused about everything that got missing from him, including a wallet. He came to the office, Chief. I don't know what I would do. Chief, this is complete. I don't know. He was crazy. I said, calm down. Calm down. When you're talking plenty, Daniel, when I want to talk to you can say, Chief, how come you don't know that the Liberian National Police is part of the crime network? He said, oh, Chichi, I beg you, let's just, if you can do anything to help me. I said, let's go to the police station. We drove to the police station, Leo, and Dr. Francine, you will soon come in. We went to see Aratu. Aratu said, I will give one of my investigators to you. He gave us the investigator. The investigator said, Chief, this is the way looking out there. We got to put some of our beginner on the road to get the information. So it at least gonna have, you got to drop it. Well, when you look at the things that were stolen, they were important. So we dropped $40. And right beside the police station, I forgot the lady name, she cooks food. We went in a woman restaurant and we sat down. When he was leaving, he said, you have money in the wallet? And I said, yeah. He said, I can't guarantee you that one. But all the other things, I will guarantee it. But that money, I will not guarantee it. We sat over there in that woman place for 1 hour, 30 minutes. Leo, everything that was taken out of the main car was brought back.
When you finish, I will explain to you how that works. The person who was the boss for that used to be my classmate.
Mm-hmm. Baby, you know that one. Now, I know every ghetto, before I go to Dr. Francine, every ghetto in the country is recognized by the police.
And the police know the boss. The police know the generals in each of those ghettos. When everybody steal, they carry to the boss.
Carry it there. The generals too report to the crime people. All the hustle at the end of the day will go there.
They get in their court.
They get in their court. But when something serious like that happen, the police goes to the ghetto and say, listen, man, you ain't want the area to be raided. You comply. You tell the man, bring all the attendant back. You bring the attendant back, they get your beat. It has sent from the store for you. That's how it's settled. And it's not supposed to be like that. It also goes for the drugs you see around. All the people sharing their own drugs. Don't matter until they say DEA. You know the excuse DEA gives? When we catch the people, we carry them to the police station. By the time we tell about the people walking right here, oh, and I say you're smart, and I say you're smart. It's a bearable offense. It's a bearable. So you know what they do? They get to do. Everybody pay their dues. All the traffic in the street of Monrovia, brother. Yeah, James there. If I'm lying, he will tell you. If you want to be assigned at a particular checkpoint and maintain an assignment, I know police officers that have been at checkpoint for more than 3 years, Dr. Francine. So when they've been there more than 7 years, they can move. You know why they can move? At the end of the evening, everybody must bring a pee. There's a certain car that go around from one area to the other. Yes, telling you something serious. Liberians, if you're watching the show, confirm what I'm saying. That car will go around, collect, and then take it back. How do all of people then to get up and eating?
I'm about to bring an interview that we conducted with them to talk about exactly what you said. In the next 3 minutes, it will be up.
Thank you. And at the end of the day, I know Dr. Francine will say, we can't do this. We can't run a country like this. And we always say, hey, you know, if we're going to change, they play can be like America, but we got to do it. Leo, sometimes you're right about these things, but it depends on the government. It depends on the leader. How come rape was honored early, a little bit down? In fact, the house they call Ellen Osacha. How come? Yeah, I mean, Ellen Osacha, meaning when they catch you in there, you're going to jail straight. Let's go back to the ghetto, the drugs, the motorcyclists. How come on Joria, all of these things quadruple? It's because the people that are depending on to perpetrate violence in their interests. I will now go back to Dr. Francine to take over her show until maybe the former CEO come, interrupt her, dislodge her, and tell her no.
Yeah. So I actually thank you, Mr. Minister Fagon, for covering for me. And actually, I intended for you to stay because I'm in between. I'll be here, but just in case I get distracted by the little one, I heard you and Good Day had a few days yesterday after we ended the show. You guys were talking about me, but that's okay.
Oh, Good Day, I think I ain't trip to put a picture back. Okay.
No, you the picture ain't trip to put the picture back on. I want to welcome our audience. I want to welcome all of you. Your hand tripping on Good Day.
But that would doing the kind of ugly graphic then said. They can't even design a thing for the show.
Thank you, yeah. Nothing professional, yeah. Nothing professional. I want to thank you, audience, for joining us. We appreciate you being here all the time. Stay tuned. We have a lot of spirited, interactive conversation coming up where you'll be able to make your comments, and we appreciate all of your comments. This is where we modeled exchange of ideas and agreeing to disagree. Just the diversity of thoughts we think is very healthy on this program. So I joined in the program, and Minister Fagon and Mr. Johnson was talking about drugs in our country, and I sat down and basically just if someone were to ask me, how do you see this problem and what would you do about this problem? I think I would begin by looking at the causes. What is causing this problem? I think our government basically should sit down and start to analyze, ask the people who are impacted, what is causing this problem? What is causing the drugs addiction in our country? What is causing this type of aggression where somebody would just go and shoot somebody for riding a motorbike? And I came up with a few thoughts. I thought of peer pressure, one of the things that we think about in this country a lot, just because my friend tried to use drugs. And so I myself would go try and see, how it makes me feel. And so that's one thing we usually look at. We look at poverty. Of course, poverty covers most of the reasons why people begin to use drugs. Self-medication, something we call self-medication in this country. When people suffer from mental health disorder, a lot of times they tend to alcohol or drugs to self-medicate themselves, to make themselves feel good, okay? They could be depressed, they could be suffering from trauma, they could be anxious, they could have all these different issues going on with them, but when they take drugs, that is an escape, and that helps them to feel better. The opportunity, if drugs is available, people will use it, okay? Anything that is available to make you feel good, in America, they call it spirit. You go to the spirit store, it's a good spirit. It makes you feel good. So most people, everybody likes to feel good. So the opportunity of it existing, if somebody's bringing it into our country and there's no regulation, it is exposed and available to our people, definitely our people will use it. There's no deterrent. What deters drugs are laws. Laws will deter drugs. And Falcon mentioned, when we look at the statistics of drugs occurring at in a certain government, and then there's a decrease of the way how drugs are used in that government, we can sort of look at the laws that was applied, or how laws were enforced during that government versus another government. And again, it is expensive to find resolution to these problems. That's the first thing you got to look at. And I believe we do have the money. If we can have money to give, again, I will not stop speaking about the $150 million that's in our budget just for George Weah discretion. Okay, he can use the very discretion to address drug problem in our country. And once you begin to tackle it, you kind of look at a holistic approach, the psychological approach, the medical approach, housing, parenting, education, psychosocial understanding of what's causing the drugs. So all of these things, it is expensive, I will tell you, but we will be working on making the next generation better. This is stuff we have to address. If we should kiss Liberia goodbye if we don't address this drug problem in our country, because it sort of integrates and affects every aspect of our culture. And I will stop here. I think, James, that you have that tape ready that you like to play.
Yeah. All right. Like what Fagon was talking about, this was an interview that Aaron conducted about a year and a half ago when there was this shooting incident that killed one of them. And basically, you listen to them explaining how and why it happened. Let me just to you.
This fellow came yesterday by the name of Opoku. Most of them on the camp, they can take advantage. We should collect money for them. We should get 10,000. If not doing it, kill human being. In that movement, trying to call the other government side to see how we can put things together and try to tear the tarpaulin. Try to lift up the tarpaulin and hold the gun inside. The gun fire and the gun don't have safety pin. This lady, I think she was here. She will not want to talk, just leave us. I don't want to talk. You understand? So, in that movement, when you take the gun inside, you took 2 steps behind the gun, it was a fire. He not know. After the gunfire, when the man died, when the man was bleeding, all the people came. Oh, you kill a man. When he came to say he wanted to run, all the people came and said, no, you can't kill and run.
So we heard that some of you tried to.
Okay, so you listen to him, right?
Yeah. He said when the government was trying to put a set together to raise the money.
Their government.
So they have their own government. They got a general who takes decision. I have a video with the President Butler himself. or what's his name? Buchu. The president's musical director that fixed all his stuff. I have that video that will shock the nation. They are in the ghetto celebrating crime, talking about the guys that they are trying to transform. And the men there are still running the ghetto as a government. Buchu is in there. The video is very clear with them and what the mission was in there. To assure that the guys that they will not be taken out of the ghetto. They are George Weah people and nobody can do anything. It's their time. And when those kind of things happen, sometimes the residents want to take action. They can. The police go there and pay homage to them. Imagine the police chief said, if they come to your home for your stuff, don't fight and just give it to them. That is an incentive for crime. So I'd like to welcome Colonel E. Remy Gray to the platform. We're going back on the drug. Thank you for the stuff. Remy, from your security standpoint, I'm not going to go. We all know what happened. What would be something you would recommend? Because right now, we are in an emergency. We have a state of emergency when it comes to insecurity, drug peddling, and what have you. What would you recommend? What are some of the things that needs to be done?
Firstly, if I were in any security government, say if I were the police chief, one of the first things I'll be looking at is actually to to take an inventory of the legal and illegal weapon in that country. If you don't make your rounds, the last time we searched our society for a legal weapon was when international forces were there. I don't think UNMIL even did that. Did that. I think ECOMOG was the last entity that actually went to different areas of our community, of our country to search for a legal weapon. But that was during the disarmament process. There are lots of illegal weapons in our country, lots of contraband. That's the first thing you do. Set up a task force to retrieve illegal weapon, or maybe give them a day where people will show up. Those who you give them a deadline to say, look, if you have a legal weapon in your home, bring it out and let them surrender, self-surrender. And after that, you set up that task force now to visit trouble area first. There are lots of when we were growing up, places like Terminal Island, we sometimes have this fear of going there. But it seems as though that is the order of the day now. We're running a gangster paradise. One country that comes to mind is Haiti, where gangs now are taking over the function of the community that, normal societies will institute, this community safety measures. They are in the hands of gangs. And that is a bad omen for any country. When we talk about failed state, these are some of the ingredients of failed state. When armed gangs, rowdy groups, fringe groups will protect their own community, will protect members of the community, then you don't have that social contract theory where you invest your safety in the hands of government, and in turn government provides you security. Whenever that is not present, begin to think about a gangster paradise. Let's go forward one step. After that, my next move will be to begin to set community watch. We have to go back to that system, that post-war system where we set up community watch. These are legal watch organizations that are trained by the police and to institute their own community security. We need to start taking some of these low-hanging fruit measures. If we don't do that, definitely
thank you
itself will not be able to do everything on hand.
Thank you, Colonel Gray. Let's go over to Leo. Leo, what do you think some of the measures now that needs to be taken? Don't go from the other point. Just say, I'm looking at Leo as the Justice Minister, and all of these complaints, you've seen everything. Take the necessary actions. Let's hear you.
The first thing that actually needs to happen from my standpoint is the National Drug Control Board in Liberia has no budget. Because part of the reason we're having this problem is availability. Access. There is supply. There is an overwhelming supply chain, and we know where the supply chains, where the angles are. How can everybody running behind the train in the ghetto, but nobody's going to the source of the supply chain? That's a more practical place to start tackling it, because once the demand start to slow, the cost of it start to go higher, and a lot of people will start being able to afford it. Because once the supply is there, guess what? The price gets so low, anybody can just buy something on the street or collect something from somewhere and just take it easily. So the first thing, because with all the constraints, I don't think there's much the government can do from the practical side with rehab and everything. They don't even seem to be interested. So at the very least, the security apparatus through the Justice Ministry needs to start going and making examples, some real good examples of some of the supply chains. And they're already known. They're already known, but they feel
very
like
well known.
They're well known. So it's not like people are naming them to you publicly. In fact, community people can call some of the names to you of the kingpins very publicly. So you want to make an example, start rounding up some of these people and start making real example of them. Now, before somebody do something, they will think twice. And you scratch your head and be like, okay, do I want to be made example of in a way? The president, when things happen like this, the president needs to step in and lead a task force himself and say, this task force will report to me for the next 9 months. I care less. There's no sacred cow, no matter who you are. Even Cham Weah or Timothy Weah, a Scott, rake them down to me. It's a direct order and mandate from the commander-in-chief himself. Because when you give that kind of confidence to the security sector, when they know that nobody can hold my hand if I go somewhere, trust me. Now, don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean everything will work perfectly, but even just the message, sending that message, where is some of the practical leadership? The next thing that we have to do is so easy, in my opinion. Let tussle and tussle. The issue of drugs in Liberia, we know where it's passing. We know where it's passing.
That's it.
The police will even tell you they know where it's passing.
Yeah.
So what's stopping, unless the powers there be are collaborating with the import of it, that they will not empower the security sector to say, y'all are burning, so we burn, I don't know how many $1 million worth of drugs that came through the Freeport, and would they not call for a national state of emergency on drugs? There should have been a national state of emergency declared immediately. That is the reason why when we talk about the danger of low expectation, people do not listen. Today we are talking about electing people. Nobody has spoke about the drug issue. Now, one of the candidates have presented a serious position on the drugs issue, in my opinion. These are the type of debates we are supposed to be having, because I keep telling you, one of the problems Dr. Richardson mentioned, the social pressure, right? That's one of the issues. But let's look at something as simple. We're not talking about drugs, even alcohol. Let's talk at the low-level hanging ones. Alcohol. How is it in Liberia or bars, drinking bars
30 seconds.
7 o'clock in the morning? Even with those of us that are living in the West, bars are not allowed to open until after lunch. Most states and places you go, the bars don't open till 12 o'clock, going down from lunchtime, because that's when people come up.
Leo, I'm not even cutting you off. Children are allowed to go and buy alcohol.
Alcohol.
You can send a 10-year-old, 11-year-old, 12-year-old child, say, please run to the store there and buy me beer.
Yeah, so those are easy to just grab up quickly, Minister Fagon. These are easy, low-hanging fruits to just get out to the president. So the first signal I'm sending, no bar in this country is allowed to open till 1 p.m. I care less who you are. No alcohol bar. Nobody's allowed to sell alcohol. I care less who you are. Any child under the age of 20. There's states here that got 21. Before you can even handle alcohol, you got to be 21.
You have to be.
We catch you with alcohol. You will like your parents. Mm-hmm. Your parents or the people that send you go to jail because the child, you're young. They're not your fault. The person that sent you to go buy alcohol, that the person spending the time to post-stock it. These are simple things that the president can do tomorrow morning when he wakes up from bed immediately. So for me, I'm not going to have my hair on the rehab, all the things we need to do, because we don't even have the sophistication to even begin yet. Let's take the
for before Dr. Francine come in, the Americans had to get involved to capture $100 million worth of drugs to feed a population of just, not to feed, because many of us know that drug was transiting, but at least 5 million worth will leave behind so that it can be sold, so that the people can have the proceeds. It's going to wind up on the street to feed those people. Weeks later, just around a month, another 40 million worth of hard substance drugs were discovered. Dr. Francine, let's leave the professional side. Let's look at the political side. Is the government a part to the whole debacle simply because of its lackadaisical approach, or maybe its inaction, its failure to take the appropriate action to clean up the ghettos, clean up the cities, make sure we have a drug-free? Could the government be a contributing force? And what will happen during these elections? Should it be on the ballot? When I say on the ballot, should it be something that people should listen out for to see who's going to help them stamp out this menace?
Yes, I believe our candidates should be talking about how can we prevent drugs and violence in our country. I believe that it impacts the youth, which we know that is the largest population in our country. And if we do want a future generation for Liberia, this is something that we really have to pay attention to. I can contribute the rise in the drug problem to the lack of laws in our country. I can contribute to the lack of us putting emphasis and having a vision for how we're going to tackle this problem. There are some very, very low hanging fruits, like some things that will not even cost us significant amount of money. Yes, it is expensive to, like Leo said, go into the rehabilitation aspect of it, the medical and the sorry, baby. You guys. I'm sorry, guys.
That
is okay, Dr. Regis. We get it.
I got permission for you to come on today. But yes, I want to conclude some low-hanging things. For example, community mobilization, like Colonel Remy Gray was talking about. But just to add to that, what did you want, baby? You're tired? You want to sleep? Yeah. So I can't understand nothing you're talking, guy. Oh, language. Anyway, but community mobilization, every community has we established and we know about Liberia has leaders in the community. What we need to do is get a sense of who those leaders are, communicate to them, disseminate information to them about the evils of drugs. Make sure that we stay in touch with them so that they can be able to feed the people in the community about drugs, to strengthen them about the security impact and the consequences of what happens when our young people get involved in drugs. Like simple things, they create a billboards in several of our community, a jingle. Come to Spoon Radio. Say, listen, I want you guys to create some kind of jingle for me that will speak about drugs prevention to the Liberian people. Those are things that will not cost our government significant amount of money, and be intentional about it. Don't just talk about it because you have self-interest or greed because you run your political campaign and say, oh, I won't win, so I'm interested in drugs. Because it's in the best interest of our country, we really, really need to deal with this now. And I will stop here because I'm being interrupted.
Thank you very much. Thankfully, it's not us on the panel. It's one of our colleagues who wants to sip. I thought people in America could speak good English. They might call it sip. I even sip.
Yeah. Okay. Ain't know that all number one medication I can keep around that way you get into it. You put it where you out there, you're ready to sleep. I try to keep it away.
All right. So guys, I think we'll leave that to where it is and go to the RIA. James, if you are around, please come forward. And guys, if you're in the chat room, I will advise that you.
Let me give you one minute of interjection on this improvisation of drugs. Little did I know that people were accessing our graveyards now, unearthing some of those the remains of people and grinding their bones as paraphernalia or remedy for drugs. Those are not things that will be imported into our country. And that's just one aspect of it. But I think as long as the government itself is not willing, because they are participant of this, and some of these these drugs that have been foiled, they belong to government, definitely. When I say government, they belong to agents of government, some powerful individuals. They are the ones who are actually condoning this. So we can look out for remedy, but as long as the government is not willing to let go, definitely it's not going to make any difference. And I think we want to have a government that is not even, a lot of things go on in our country, and we know what can happen in our Jamaica resort, all those kind of places. So we know that the source is some of the bigger people in the society. So we can do all the talking, but I don't think it's going to be of any significance as long as the government is a part of the pot.
And Remy, I wanted to add Mr. Falcon, Liberians are seeking a role model. We enjoy imitating others, especially people that we hold in high esteem. I think a couple of times you guys have mentioned here, George Weah started wearing a propose suit. Everybody's wearing a propose suit. Ellen used to wear her hair tie and her lapa across her shoulder. That became popular. Even Falcon is making light of my hair tie and saying that may be a move. Just imagine if George Weah, could go on Sarah popular radios or even just put a big platform or billboard out and say something about people not using drugs. That's gonna help. Talk about what the pros of being a drug-free person, how it contributes to our country, our society. I believe students would listen, even if people could capture him sitting down in a classroom setting, talking to students, making different rounds, to schools. That definitely, I believe, will impact the way our younger generation think about drugs in our country. And these are things that we don't quite necessarily need a lot of money to do. Those are low-hanging fruits that we can address right now. But we don't see that happening. Who's mentoring our young people? Who do they have to look to? And part of the symptoms we know that relates to drug is that there's a sense, you want a sense of belonging. You want to feel a part of your community or your country and somebody to look up to. There's some parental failures that happen for whatever reason, not blaming parents, that contribute to people going to using drugs. So once we have someone, whether real or imagined, in our head that is serving as a mentor to us, that can carry us a long way. So I just wanted to add that.
Can't hear you.
Sorry. James, are you there? We're trying to go now to the airport where the security of our international airport has been outsourced, just like the passports and just like the fingerprint and stuff like that has been outsourced to Ghanaians, and the Freeport is outsourced to Sierra Leoneans. Now the airport security is squarely in the hands of Ghanaians beginning the 1st. If you're in the chat room, I'd like for you to follow with us by going to the chat room and then opening up the document, because I really want you to see it firsthand for yourself, and we're going to read through. Iremigre, here is what it says, and it was written by Martin Hayes on March 1st, 2023. We have the documents that's right on your screen, and it's a contract to Honorable Mahama Ayariga, Star Africa Aviation Security Services, P.O. Box PMB CO 95, Bond House, Meridian Road, Tema, Ghana. And it is clear. It reads, Dear Honorable Ayariga, the Liberian Airport Authority extends its kind compliments and right to inform you that the commencement date for the airport security operations to be handed over and managed by Star Africa Aviation Security Services as per contract, reference IFB number RRA/RB/01/19/20, meaning January 19, 2020, is set for May 1st, 2023. Please take note of the following timelines and actions activities. This contract was brought together in 2020. What will amaze you is the fact that he writes on to say, effective yada, 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 yada. I will put it that way because I want to come to the most important part. He says, please take note that prior to the commencement, Remy Gray, this letter was written on the 1st, 2023, March 1st, 2023. Liberians, you're listening. He says, please take note that prior to the commencement date of May 1st, 2023, and before the handover of operations, SAS must submit to the Liberian Aviation Authority all required documents, including and but not limited to operators license. I want you to take that into consideration. You sign a contract, you get the people the contract, the people supposed to start the contract on May 1st, 2 weeks from now. You are asking for these things, that they hand over the operations to these people. They're asking for license from the LCAA, Security Service Authorization, from the Ministry of Justice, current business registration. Well, how did you get the people the contract? You see business registration. They're also asking for tax clearance from the LRA. Right there, I'm tempted. They go on again to say, let me enlarge this. Additionally, as go to the last page there, the signature page. The signature page. Go back to the signature. Yes, that's the signature page, folks. Additionally, as per the contract, you are kindly reminded, you're reminding the people to please submit to the LAA your firm's security strategy plan. On what business you signed this contract? And he said official investment plan also, and a copy of any signed security consultancy agreement enter into with your Israelis and other security counterparts. Unquote. Remy Gray. And you can remove that, James. Thank you.
You know,
you have a background. Let me ask you the question. You have a background in security.
Wow.
You are a former colonel in the military. Is that how you people do business? You see no consultancy agreement with the Israelis or the other people? I know when they say other counterparts or whatsoever, you got nothing like that. No license, no this, no that. Brother, you are a security. Talk to us, man. Talk to us.
You know, this is all over the place. Firstly, I think it contravenes some of our laws. Under our national security law, the Liberian National Police, the act that created our police, would tell you that all internal security of our state, you understand, will fall within the jurisdiction of the purview of the Ministry of Justice. You understand? Executed through the various internal agencies. You talking about giving our national security gateway to foreign organization? It sounds first, that's the very first contravention. And then the second one has to do with, before you even consider somebody, you want to make sure you do your due diligence to make sure that they even have the requisite license to even compete for the job in the first place. I always say, I think us Liberians, I didn't know we were this stupid. I did not know. Sorry for that language. But it goes to say the people who are leading our country are some of the most idiopathic people that you can ever imagine. I want to see a Liberian organization going to take over the Ghanaian airport at Tema. I want to see that happening. I mean, we've lost our pride.
God forbid, don't even go there. I lived there from when I entered in 1996 all the way to 2000. Don't even go there. You go near the airport, please, I beg you.
Oh my God, how can you do this to us? Now, all the reason why I said if we give this government a second term, there will be absolutely no country called Liberia for some of us. We will be foreigner in our own land. I can guarantee you that, because these are some of the inclination that they are ready to divvy up that country.
But let me hold you there. From your security standpoint, the letter is written telling the people to take over on May 1st. It is clear in the letter.
Yes.
But now, 2 weeks to that, you are asking them, quote, and copy of any signed security consultancy agreement enter into with your Israelis and other security counterparts. You didn't see it, but you get the people the contract.
But Fangon, this is how we've been doing business. You remember we're talking about the El Nito. The people did not even have the money to bid. You gave them the contract. Once you gave them the contract, they were able to get money from somewhere, to put money in those decision makers' pocket. And those people, they cashed out millions of dollars on the backs of Liberians. This is one similar thing. This is the way, that's why we have this anti-graft agencies like LACC, the PPCC, those organizations that will look at, that will follow the fine print, that will do the due diligence before even you consider them as part of the group of companies that probably will be bidding for that particular contract.
30 seconds to bring Dr. Francine in, please.
None of this was done. And I can tell you, look, one day we'll just sit down and we'll just can't take our executive mansion. People just can't take it over because they have listed, they don't even know they've listed to a foreign agency. And I can tell you, this kinds of things, these are things, this like no country will ever allow any foreign organization to take over their national airport or their gateway to their economy, their country. It's like giving the key to a foreign individual, say, keep it for us. Then when you're coming in, you have to go ask them before you can enter your own country. This is why.
Thank you. Dr. Francine, listen to this one. As additionally, because you are a professor, additionally, and as per the contract, you are kindly reminded to please submit to the LAA. Remember that the people taking over 2 weeks from now. Your firm's security strategy plan. 2 weeks to taking over. Whoa. You said the people must submit a strategy to you and also the official investment plan. You didn't see all they want. You don't know the people's strategy. You know nothing, but you gave them the contract. Help us.
So, this is play government. You know how on the mission we used to say, okay, we got play part. This is what this government is doing. They are taking serious issues in our country, like the gateway to Liberia, all right? And taking security, the place where things can enter the country. We've seen drugs enter in the country already, illegal citizens or aliens, well, I don't want to use that word, illegal persons can enter the country. And you're taking it and putting it in the hands of people other than Liberia. Why would anybody want to do that? Why would a government want to do that? Two things that come to my mind is, one, they don't have the competence to generate revenue to protect our borders and our airport. That's number one. Number two, they don't know what they're doing. And I want to add more. In fact, another thing came to my mind. They don't even trust that they can educate and train Liberians to take over the airport. This is what this government is doing, and Liberian people need to know that. This is why companies like, Brussels and the other airlines are leaving, or they don't take us seriously. They take Liberians out of Liberia and take them to other parts of the world and say, well, we don't have enough gas, or we don't have enough fuel to fly you guys from your own country. So who cares about you Liberians? I mean, this has a lot of consequences. This government is incompetent. They are asking for it. And you're right. When I was involved in an accreditation process yesterday, Fakon, it's going to take us 6 months after we got a feedback report yesterday. This report now has to go back to another body. Then it goes to another body. Okay, like you said, a procurement bidding body process, Remy Gray. Before the people sit down and write letter to us to tell us, okay, we checked everything. We checked your files, we checked your rules, we checked our expectations of how you're supposed to run as a university. The government should say, we're checking your strategic strategic report. We're checking your investment report. We're checking how you have your staff management, human resource report, your security procedures. Those are the things that it should be checking, and there should be no rush. Okay, 6 months before the actual American Psychological Association come back to us and say, you know, these things we found to be okay, and we are going to grant accreditation for either the next 3 years, the next 6 years, or the next 10 years, or we're not going to grant you guys accreditation. I mean, thank God, by all means, we got a positive feedback. We give you a verbal feedback so you know where you stand a little bit. But that doesn't mean that they can't change their mind in the meantime. If they find something different, this is what's supposed to happen. This is the time. You know, but after you give the people the contract, like Falcon is saying, then you come back and say, we want to review your security plan, your strategy. We want to review your license. We want to review your license registration process.
We want to see your business registration. We want to see your tax receipt after you have given. But hold on, let me go to Remy Gray and just spill the beans. Number 3, if you're looking at the letter number 3, on the letter, it said the invoicing date is effective June 1st. Remember, they're turning the place over to them on May 1st. So the invoicing date is effective June 1st, 2023. When SARS will begin calculation, that's SARS. I want to hear it won't go Remy Gray. That Tennessee popping for my mouth.
Nope.
They didn't say the government or LRA. They said when SARS will begin calculation of security fees for submission to the LAA and or the various airline and or. That means that move the LAA from there when you see and or. That means you can either give it to LAA or you give it. Then to continue to say, or the various airline as per the security contract mentioned above, that Ghanaian then must charge the airline the fees they want to charge them. And then they will start paying. So if you and I know, Remy, if they increase the fees on the airline will increase the ticket price, right?
Correct.
Simple. But who should determine the fees? SARS or the government?
The government. Of course, the government, because there can be lending fee, there can be airport fee, you know, there can be what you might call it before you take off from Liberia as an individual. There could be airport fee. There could be lending fee. So that fee has to coincide with your national financial laws. You know, when the people were demonstrating against the Minister of Transport, these are some of the issues that fold their cups. And I think it was time to begin to bring some of these things to bear. You know, we have a group of people again who are running our country who have no clue. The least thing they take into consideration is our national sovereignty. That's the least thing in their plate. But I can tell you, if they have that nuance that your national security is not something you can just give it to any kind of foreigner or any foreign organization to do, definitely you begin to reconsider some of these kinds of action. Because you know what? If you have given the national security, the sovereignty to a foreign agent, you understand? Why you care about who charges fee? You don't care anymore because you've given the look. If you allow a man to come in your bedroom, you understand? Why if that man sleeps with your wife, what you got to do with that? Because you have already allowed the man to your bedroom. So anything else?
My theory, you can't bring it today, huh?
Oh. but okay, you allow another woman in your bedroom. No, but all jokes aside, this is extremely serious, and this is going to look at us like we are in colonial era. How can you give your national security airway? Now you're talking about the national free port, now the airport authority, which means, and when you give those people contract, not only for
and also you need to add our foreign embassy, like in Minnesota where you live.
Yes.
The fingerprint, the Ghanaians, let me say this.
What is going on here?
Let me say this, Remy Gray. Everybody said Josh Opong Wia. So the Opong is there. We also have Achampong in Ghana. We also have Fripong in Ghana. I'm beginning to think that because everybody knows that he's Opong, so now he's giving everything to Achampong, Sapong. These are all Ghanaian names. If I Fripong, Achampong, Sapong is always a P-O-N-G. Go and spell them all. Why are you giving? Ghanaians will not give us one thing. They're very nationalistic.
Very.
But we take everything and give it to Sapong, we give it to Achampong, we give it to Fripong because we have an Opong. I'm tempted to believe that. The last time the airport had a manager, he went for confirmation hearing. He was only a high school graduate. President Weah has literally ran the airport for his 6 years without a manager. I don't know if somebody wants to, someone just informed me that the work permit is also outsourced to a Ghanaian firm.
Wow.
Wow.
They just informed me that, oh, your work permit, you don't know who get it. Our passport is outsourced to the Ghanaians. You know that?
Oh my God.
It's called Buck Press. I challenge anybody in the government to come out and say that lie. They make our passport, Buck Press. How can you take everything out of our country and give it to Ghanaians? What are you leaving for the Liberians? And then you said they will not be spectators in their own economy. But now they are slaves in their own country. They work now for Ghanaians. If you look at number 2 here, and I'm appealing to you to go back to the something. Number 2, Ono Martin here is the acting managing director. Okay? A transition team comparing of consultants and expert staff of both SARS and LAA will be constituted immediately to begin to lay the pathway for the smooth turning over of the security operations from LAA to SARS. You are using our people to help now to turn this thing over. How do you behave like that? Oh, if it's not Freeport, if it's not the passports, we're working for the Ghanaians on that one. We come to the fingerprinting and bio, something they call it.
Biometrics?
The biometrics in Minnesota and all the different embassies, we're working for the Ghanaians. You go to the Freeport, CNET, we're working for the Sierra Leoneans. You go to the Labor Ministry, we're working for the Ghanaians. You come now to the airport, we're working for the Ghanaians. What did we do to this president to merit this? Okay? The HR now of those companies are all Ghanaians. The same happened with Western Cluster. They gave it to the Indians. What happened? The Indians, 6 of them brought in what? Ghanaians. We were on the same show. Ghanaians HR, Ghanaians driver, Ghanaian models, Ghanaians operator. How do you treat your people like this? And people wonder why the whole country broke. Because
even PMFU in Ministry of Finance,
yes,
have been taken over by Ghanaians.
Thank you. There's a huge guy there. But you know that Samuel Tuer said because they failed the MCC,
yeah,
he scattered all of them into different offices. Why you brought in those people? I will say one thing before I go to Dr. Francine. When I was in school, and probably you too, because we're about the same age, we used to see the Ghanaian guys in the camp. Most of our teachers were Ghanaians. I left in Ghana from 1996 to 2002. Nobody can tell me about Ghana. And that's why I took my name from Casapreco. I didn't. Listen, we did not know the secret. Now in Ghana, we in Liberia gave us 20 subjects. Power, vocabulary, home economics, agriculture. You can think about anything that your business. They do that. Now in Ghana, you go up, you do only math, English, and something else. That's it. So when a man tell you say he know math, he can barely speak English, but he know math. He eat math like Kanya. Secondly, we did not know the second trick was in Ghana. You hear about Adesala College, King College. That was high school, brother. I went there. It was high school, but we did not know that the things were high school. And so when they graduate, they come with a certificate from Adesala College. We put it in our school. They start teaching. We wonder why they couldn't speak good English, but they knew math. That was it. They cut down. See how Ghana is developed today. And so you bring these people thinking that they are experts. You pay them huge sums of money. Yeah, we are today. We can't pass Millennium Compact. Even if we did, that's 70, we cannot get the money. Dr. Francine, do you think this government is helping our people?
You know, I tend not to be suspicious, and I want to give this government the benefit of the doubt, okay? But
hold on, Dr. Francine. Just a minute. There are people on the live feed calling for help in Kebab, Barnesville, asking for the fire service to please come to the rescue. And there are several persons confirming that they really need help and that the places are burning. So fire service, if you're out there, this is a call for you to respond to the residents of Kebab. It's very, very serious. Thank you. Go ahead, Dr. Francis.
Yeah, thank you for that announcement, Mr. Falcon. Liberians definitely need help out there. And I'm thankful that I can use this medium for that. But I'm looking at, item number 3 on this letter. It says the invoicing date is effective June 1st, 2023. When SARS, this is SARS now, even you can just look at the name, Star Africa, one Black Star, Ghanaian Star, that just tell you exactly.
That Russian SARS, we know it.
Exactly. SARS will begin calculation of security fees. I'm just thinking, is this, I feel like somebody's getting a cut in this.
Oh, no, yes, that are money. That are money, Dr.
Somebody is involved in this whole thing. There's no way
that's their money.
The government can just say, I'm going to allow a foreign agency to determine security fees. Then will be submitted to the Liberian government, which is the RIA, the LAA. That is not adding up to me at all. So somewhere in between, the whole will cover whole.
Article 34 is very clear as to who can levy taxes. If you go, let's see if we found it right here, if I can get to it. Okay. All revenue bills, whether subsidy, charges, imposts, duties, or taxes, and other financial bills shall originate in the House of Representatives, but the Senate may propose or concur with the amendment as on other bills. No other financial charge shall be established, fixed, laid, or levied on any individual, community, or locality under any pretext whatsoever, except by the express consent of the individual, community, or locality. In all such cases, a true and correct amount of funds collected shall be made to the community or locality. And it goes on to say the legislature shall have the power to level those taxes, bills, and what have you. Then to come see Martin Hayes. He been acting the longest acting mayor in the whole world. He's been acting the longest since they got rid of Bishop Clay. Since they got rid of Bishop Clay, they have not replaced him. He's been acting. How can you write this kind of thing that they will calculate the fees as if to say that Ghanaians then coming to determine the fees in our country, insulting the legislature and usurpation of their function? Echo.
And it says, Mr. Falcon, aspect that security. So they finished signing this contract. Which you said already, nobody had the audacity to double check this contract to stop and say, why are these people demanding this fee, or why are they responsible for collecting fees? Why are they responsible for, being the one to say, okay, Liberian people or the airlines should pay X amount of dollars? What guidelines do they have to ask people about fees, to ask people to pay fees? What guidelines are they going by? What standards are they going by?
I will tell you this. If I was a political advisor to Tiawon Gonglo, a lawyer, by now Liberians would have been talking about Tiawon Gonglo, because I would have put together a legal team. These are the kind of things I run to the Supreme Court quick and pause it. I will be in the news. Every day I'll be in the news as the fighter for the Liberian people. But you're a lawyer and you passing around with broom, saying you want fight. Look at this kind of thing. As a lawyer, you have the right to challenge this and make a constitutional and clear it from the way. The more you do these things, the more popular you become with the people as the men fighting for them. Stop going in the bushes with one small old broom. You are a lawyer. This should not be. Everything that you see is illegal. Go after it. Fight. And let the people know you're fighting. But you go on the side, you talk to a few people, you sweep. Why you sweeping? This is the thing you're supposed to sweep. Sweep it, stop it. Let us be the one to say, had it not been for Tiawan Gonglo, our airport would be in the hands of the Russian-backed Ghanaian government, Ghanaian entity. Had it not been for him, we would have been robbed. Again, our fees would have gone up. Had it not been for Tiawan Gonglo, the biometric would have proceeded and would have been robbed. But you are a lawyer, and you're not using your profession to your advantage. But you are asking them to give you power. What more power you want? The power you have, you're not using it. What other additional power should we give you? Remy.
You know, I remember few maybe one of our earlier episode on this platform. We talk about the Liberian Bar Association and how they're not using that functionary to actually hold the government feet to the fire. You see, when we talk about opposition parties, opposition in general, these are some of the things. Pressure group are part of our opposition, politicking. You have to be able to check and balance government. I remember when the issue of Ami Modad came up, and there was this duty-free shop, the store at the airport, where they went and gave it to a Ghanaian business to run. You see, whenever this government has a way of testing you first. It's just like President Ware didn't just abandon the country and go sit in UAE or somewhere out there for 48 days. He tried us first, and we didn't make noise about it. These are not the only duty of a certain politician or certain opposition politician. This is a national endeavor. That's why we have this pressure group like the National Bar Association. When they gave that contract to that Ghanaian firm to run the airport store, there was a Liberian, Ami Modad, a Kisi guy. Forget about his color, for that matter. That guy was in tears when they denied him that contract. You had Liberians who running that airport at the time were making all the justification why they could not give him the contract.
You even wasting time. If a Nigerian lady that is in the airport terminal that making full fried chicken and tina, well, this and that, or ask anybody. Don't say Eugene say. She running the whole place up there. How can you say Liberia, somebody want kind of Liberia, they want to eat potato green, pan butter, fufu, something that put our culture up there. Then you go pour flour on the chicken, you fry the chicken be swallowed at it. You get that one again to Nigerian people. They are there.
And they want you to pay extra to go sit down in our place there, in our restaurant.
You see something that the Francine let trouble, but she let good trouble. You cannot enter the VIP lounge until you pay.
That's right. About $30 or so.
To enter there. And when you enter the place, you will say, I pay my money for what kind of trouble is this?
I know.
But the Nigerian again is making money. I will say it this way, and I know I will sound awkward, but I bring people here listen to me. You want to tell me we got no farm Malato Liberian woman?
But person have been Malato,
no, that's not my point. My point is because she pray, because she pray, go get our place. Nobody in Liberia capable of running our place.
Now you know Nigerian people that bleach.
You right. All right, when me I got time. Say anything say you want to say advance.
That girl that was talking to Yeka Koluba said, making a color woman do nothing can do better to that place.
Pepper color. Pepper color. The poor one eat. What is this? This is called pepper color.
Yeah.
Let me try it.
Yes.
But you think I will play get on Nigerian pool. Then they said a goosey.
Yeah, but Fagon, and that's also and also, and I want to say the danger of low expectation. People don't know what we are talking about. The low expectation, first of all, is that you have an airport, right? Nobody seemed to care about what process was put into place, first of all, to vet, to even vet who's going to the airport.
Airport leaking, brother.
Yeah, but then my whole thing is this. When people behave as such, that letter that you're reading, giving contract to Ghana, first of all, that's illegal. When you and me, you take over from today, all the people working there automatically become honor you. Where is that done? Who read that kind of, you telling the boss, say, you will take over, then everybody working there cease to exist as employer RA. They automatically go on underneath you. And this is where I criticize Councillor Gonglo one time in one of the interviews I talked to him. We have the Liberian Bar Association, and you know that is where most of our seasoned lawyers sit. And when he was chairman at the time, president for the bar, so that's when I asked him that question. I'm like, where is the voice? Imagine when the lawyer association speaks, that when the president's supposed to trim out, because all the people in the announcement, all they are yes, and reading the law, defending it. When they show up to court to sue you, you're supposed to be scared because of the people that can help interpret the law. But they've been like toothless bulldogs. And we saw it the same case when Juan Budike. When Juan Budike came out, they were writing petitions to say they don't have space. And my thing is, and the expectation is so low because we all expect, that the government, the people will just do their thing. Even with civil society organizations, here is the problem. Where are the reports? I'm saying go find the government. The first thing we'll do, somebody will be at our airport, will document and profile everything. We will file those reports with the U.S. Embassy, with this place, with that place, with that place. Sometimes that is what puts the pressure. When President Weah fly somewhere wanted to go meet and say, oh, we're begging for money for the airport because we want to renovate it. And they put one report before him and say, oh, you mean with these Ghanaians and, all the people that are supposed to not be here. Or
no fire truck there.
Yeah, or with this contract. Yeah, all with this contract that is fraudulent because, first of all, this contract is not legal. When Samuel Tuer go for a meeting to the World Bank Spring meeting, they post some of these reports behind him. But no, the low expectation is we just talk. And in fact, to the point where when you talk, what should be done, people mock you and say that like they were never being like bureau, he didn't living in America. People mock you. And I tell them, you see, Dr. Francine, those are all that here. Let me tell you today that the reason I thank God for Ellis Cummings, that Ellis Cummings said he will run whether he win or he lose, because you know what? Somebody needs to have for once the courage to say we're not going to be buying down to the political mullahs in Liberia, right?
But let me carry you up to this one.
Let me add. Actually, can I just add to what Leo was just saying?
I want you to add to it, but I want you to include this that Leo highlighted in number one. Just please look at number one, Dr. Francine. It said effective as of the commencement day, May 1, 2023. All Roberts International Airport security staff, as previously accepted by SARS, will now cease.
How does that make any sense?
Will now cease to be staff.
How does that make any sense?
Yeah, the man working for you, he said because somebody taking over, he will cease.
He will cease. That without any bargaining, discussion, no negotiation. Probably they may not even know.
That's what Dr. Francine. And that one when she concluding to see that one. Because they don't want to do the psychology thing.
I will address this first. This is against all human resource personnel policy, personnel law to just come in and say people who are working for an agency cease to exist. Okay, you don't even look at their history of working with the company. You don't look at the benefits, or at least you don't even mention it in the letter.
You don't even look at the fact that they are humans.
Or their contract. What does their contract even say before they got employed?
You don't even mention it. You don't even take that into consideration because you're saying that they cease to exist, okay? And you don't even give them a choice. And this is the human factor that you're talking about, Fagon, that you don't have a choice to say if I want to work for this company or not. You are just going to move on because we, in authority, we are the big people. You can't think for yourself. We're going to tell you to move on. And this is a problem in our country. This is what people become very submissive. It doesn't promote critical thinking because you make a decision for the people. You telling them how their life should be. You're going to come and work for us. I wanted to just add a little bit and play the devil's advocate, to something that was said about the lawyer Tioa Gonglo. in the devil advocates, in other words, mean like let torso. Okay, that's what I'm learning from Eugene Falcon. You say I'm picking up fast, Minister Falcon. Let torso.
Let torso. No, you gotta say in. Let torso and torso.
Let torso. Okay, good. Thank you for the education. So, you know, my husband telling me last time, he said, you pick it up. And,
yeah, now when you say let torso, it don't sound good, but when you say let torso and torso, I mean, are two different errors.
We're getting Liberian, like, I don't know, look what.
Nice.
Yes, okay, good. Okay, so, you know, Tiawan can argue, say, you know, I can go in here and present the best legal case against government, okay? But if the government is pressuring the justice system to work according to their wants, then Tiawan got no case, because no matter how hard he fights, the government has a role in the justice system. In fact, go and read the Magnitsky Act. That will tell you exactly how, you know, the government has a role to play in our justice system. On the other hand, you know, should that discourage Tiawan from filing those cases? I think not, because paper trail.
But
okay?
Dr. Francine, that's the whole point that we're making.
Yes, I know.
Even if you're not win.
But Dr. Francine, one more step. Let me take it one more step further for you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Forget about filing it to the courts. Live here in Canada. Let me give you an example. When indigenous communities here were being trampled upon by the Canadian government, all kinds of laws they were passing. You know what the people did? Those people organized their own public hearings, right? Public hearings where they brought in victims. Like that whole RIA thing are going right now. If the Bar Association decide, will organize public hearings for all those who are affected, that are victims by that situation. We will broadcast it live. All the radio stations will go live. We want to hear from you. You're talking about the grief. The international community is listening. You catalog that report. When the indigenous community were finished, they catalog their report. You know where the report ended up? To the United Nations. Canada was pressured into declaring the international rights for indigenous people, not just under universal human rights, just for them only because of a public hearing. So in Liberia, when we're talking about it, we're not talking about it for Liberian government. You hold a hearing. The Liberian Bar Association holds a hearing. 100 people come. Dr. Francis, on the podium, I will show up. You'll be surprised with some sorrowful story, and they will tell you that they've never had a chance to ever air their voice anywhere because nobody will listen. That 50% of the problem when people have the opportunity for somebody noteworthy, somebody significant to give them a platform to air it out. You record.
And that's the problem I got with Tiawan. Tiawan, you're supposed to be winning the election.
Some of those videos, Dr. Francine, that always be sharing it around here.
Tiawan, look. Dr. Francine, before you come in, when the president said, I was just informed that over 15,000 Liberian workers,
can you imagine,
have made below the minimum wage for the last 5 years.
We will open a hearing, public hearing.
Sue the government because the law says equal work for equal pay. The fact that you have admitted that you didn't pay them their full money,
that girl,
so will carry to court,
there's
so
a
they
maintenance
can
of
calculate
guilt.
the balance money. Because they work for it. Right, Leo? They work for it.
Yes.
You cannot deny them. That's the money they work for.
Correct.
Sue the government.
Yes.
Then win the case. Become the poor man lawyer. Become the fighter. Then you fight corruption. But you sit down there.
How many people pick up their phone and call you every day and say, Dr. Francis, I beg you, please bring me on spoon. Every day. People text you, begging you. They say, I got this. The government did this to me. The person did this to me. You open up a public hearing. There are some people who got into the place that are agency that they not care at this point. They get tired.
How can somebody make $32 income? 30 days you go to work, your transportation more than your salary. But you have to go just to say I have a job.
But Eugene, I think one of the agencies of government that is actual, or the branch of government that is fleecing all of this, that is fanning this flame, is the legislature. I don't think any contract would have evolved without their acquiescence, without their knowledge. We're talking about the legal part, which has to do with the third branch of government, which is the judiciary, right? Mm-hmm. But what about the first branch of government, the legislature? All of them, I want to believe that before this contract was outsourced to a foreign agency,
yes,
They had knowledge of it. When we talk about people signed 66 bad concession, these are some of the things we're talking about. And what are we doing about it? I think there were the checks and balance coming with the legal luminaries. And I don't want to hold Councilor Taiwan Gonglo primarily responsible, but he has
No, that's correct.
No, I would just say when he was president, Remy Gray, that when he was president for the Bar Association.
Now, that's where I was going next.
He's a politician. He's going to run on it to go up.
No, before his role as a politician, he played a very significant role. So that's why he's more significant in this debate, in this discussion, than anybody else running for the presidency right now. Because you know what? If anybody was given the teeth to bite, it was him first. And now he's trying to look for a second role, that probably a bigger role that will give him more teeth to bite. But I'm only saying our National Legal Bar Association in general is a weakling. If you come in this country, the ACLU, they are always the go-to. They are more powerful than even any opposition. They are powerful more than the Republican Party, more than the Democratic Party. The ACLU, the teeth they have to bite, because even the flag that hangs out there, they say flag should not be, or maybe let's say the 10th Commandment.
Remy, Mr. Craig, for the listening audience, the ACLU, can you just tell them it's a legal organization?
It's the American Civil Liberty Union.
Yeah.
You understand?
Almost like the bar, almost like a
bar association.
Correct. Okay, good.
And people have this kinds of authority in Liberia.
And they fight to protect the civil liberties of Americans.
Yes, civil liberties. Yes. Now, I'm telling you, my brother, our bar association, firstly, now is in the pocket of the executive, George Weah. I think it was through his instrumentality after Taiwan left. The guy who is there now is a complete yes sir to George Weah. So that's another quarter that is weak. So I think we'll continue to make the noise here. One of the strongest voices of our time is places like Spoon. You understand? Where anything that gets here, it gets national attention.
Correct.
And some of us hope to use it to the best of our ability, not necessarily to be vindictive, but rather to make sure that enough light is shown on some of these kinds of situations. And you see they'll begin to act once you speak.
And even with this contract stuff, right? This, as they now know the facts, that's why I told somebody, Dr. Francine, if the legislature is not informed, it does not mean that they cannot act. The fact that they're now looking at this letter, the contract and everything, if at all this is allowed to start on May 1st, it means they know about it and all of them are guilty.
Correct.
If it does not start by that time, then we know they have put their foot down to say, you have violated Article 34. We are the ones that are supposed to do XYZ. Pause your operation and we'll go on as usual. It happened, but again, when I say, and I will repeat, Taiwan Gonglo, if you look at, he does not have this big stuff. If I was a political advisor to Taiwan, I said, Taiwan, we don't have money for radio, but we can make radio work for us for free. Because at the end of the day, I will sue President Weah and his government in a class action lawsuit. All of you guys know what that is. On behalf of what? 15,000 workers making below the minimum wage, most of whom making 30. Apostle Vinico, the Chief Justice, will rule in their favor because the president has admitted. He admitted. And the fact that he owes these people, he will pay. That would be another one. Secondly, the president, look at this thing. For example, at this airport, Taiwan seized the movement on behalf, and I think all of you guys were here. I'm from Bomi. We took our case to the Supreme Court, right? 6 of us went to the Supreme Court on behalf of our county. Taiwan collect 25 Liberians and sue at the Supreme Court that these workers and all of this mess, this contracting, that the Supreme Court should put a hold on it. It is in violation of the Constitution. It jeopardizes our security. Dr. Francine.
I got something in the back to read about this by association. You got a minute, please.
Okay, hold on. Dr. Francine.
Are you, Mr. Johnson, are you going to make the distinction between, because some people are thinking
Yeah, I'll actually do it. I saw it.
Okay, good. Yeah, I just want to make sure that I make the clarification.
Okay.
Because
Dr.
you say that is.
Yeah.
You want to go first?
Yeah. So let me. No. Actually, I'll go first.
So you go. You go
Go
first.
ahead, Dr. Francine.
You know, and I was just to finish my thought about paper trails. Okay. Yes, perhaps you can say the judicial system is in the pocket of the executive branch. Okay, so if someone like Tewan Kongolo took a case to court, or many cases to court, to to represent the Liberian people, to humanize them again, because when a company just say you cease to exist, you're actually devaluing the human spirit of someone. All right. So, but let's say you don't win, at least you're keeping paper trails. And you know, like Mr. Johnson said, at least you can file those paper trail with international organizations. When leaders of that country come to another country and say, "Oh, we need funding or we need help for the airport," and you can flash that letter or this segment or spoon and say, "Listen, on XYZ day, I represented those people. I spoke on their behalf." You see, in this modern world, the world that we live in, you have to contribute to your organization, to your country, in your big and small ways. When you go for job interviews in this modern world, this is why we keep on asking, or we ask some people and people get mad at us, say, "Oh, what so did for the country, you know, or well, what have you done for the country?" You know, they are asking you, what assets do you bring to this organization? That's something to ask you before, when you walk into the door of the country for a job interview. Tell me, how, if we hire you to be our president of our country, what have you contributed to your country in the past, or to any other organization in the past, that will make us believe that you'll be able to do that or more to strengthen our organization? Those are the questions they ask you. They ask you, what are your strengths? What do you bring to this organization? That is the modern world. This is how we see things now. Now, in the past, in 1847, perhaps people care and nobody tracked those things because we didn't have Google, we didn't have WhatsApp, we didn't have all these databases to follow us. Now we do. I can Google Mr. Fagon, Leo Johnson. I see his library come on. Leo Fagon, Mr. Fagon. I see you come out. Prime Minister in Liberia. I can
you see my name, dismissed government minister. Eugene Fagon M. Moran.
But Dr. Richardson, I want to correct something people are saying. We never said the ACLU is the American Bar Association. No, we didn't. We were trying to describe it and say it's like another version. So the ACLU itself is an interest group. The American Bar Association is an interest group. The Liberian Bar Association, they are all interest group. They are not government. And the reason why we're referencing them, because they have that credibility with the public, because they are not government. They set themselves up to fight in the interest of people who justice is being denied. Can you put a thing on? Let me read it quick, James Goode, please. I put it in the chat room there. A quick picture, please. Let me just put it so people can see. This is from the website of the Liberian Bar Association. It says, our vision: an independent, ethical, and improved judiciary and legal education system in which access to justice are effectively managed, benefiting all Liberians. Our mission: access to justice, legal professional ethics, effective justice, and enhanced fraternal bond among LMBA members and between the associations and bars of foreign countries. You put it in a small. I beg you.
Thank
you.
you.
Say that the bar association themselves said
effective justice.
Effective justice. The president said 15,000 people don't get paid. Effective justice. Liberians at RIA, a letter is saying that automatically
they cease to exist.
They will automatically go under somebody. Nobody say, as we said here today, small children, we say not supposed to say, they said in every junction you stop to in Liberia, little kids as young as 6, 7, 5 years old, alcohol, drinking. Nobody say, so the Bar Association, you are a liar when you put a mission and vision statement out and you don't live by it. Because your mission, look, public hearing, Dr. Richardson, they're free. So nobody can tell me say they put not get budget. Public hearing today, if you get announced in Liberia to say, you know what, all of the legislative staffers that were protesting the last time for their pay being cut during the harmonization process, we are organizing a public hearing because they were already going public on their own. They didn't
It
even look
was
for
now for them. They're coming back again.
exactly. And say we will have it recorded as the Bar Association.
Well, just like the TLC, like how they hosted the TLC.
That's the hosted the TLC. These
Yeah.
things are so, and when you're having a hearing, guess what? Dr. Richardson, invite the US ambassador, invite the EU ambassador to the public hearing. Bring your international ambassadors, let them be first accountable, because those public hearings will be publicized enough so they can hear from innocent Liberians what they are facing.
Oh, Leo, I have a question.
Power.
I couldn't agree where you go, Leo.
I have
Go
a
ahead.
question. You want to tell me those people could not find a better picture than that funny picture, man? The
Man,
ACLU?
I'm a member of Bar Association. I don't know issue there. Me and I go law school. I don't want to go to Liberia. Somebody go sue me for something I don't do it.
Before we go to the
You're quite a
lines,
bar association.
we'll be wrapping up on this to go to James. Are you there? We want to play the tape of Billy and his operation with Cummings, and then we'll open the lines to the people so that they can come in. But guys, this was a very serious case. You all read it. The real part that got me in this whole thing, Dr. Francine, I swear, I will not sleep tonight. You just tell me, say you sign contract. You give me the contract number as RFB number RIA/SP/RB/01/1920. You give me contract, you say you get contract. Then you come by, you ask for license, tax paper, business registration. You ask for investment plan. You ask for security strategy. You ask for agreement. Are you mad? How did you get this contract? How? That now you want to put to present documents? You know, right there, when I said Tier 1, it's like they were the wife of the former commanding general, the late Thomas G. Kwongpa, Talo Kwongpa. She went on the live feed just and said, will you guys on Spoon raise the money to pay for the legal fees if Tier 1 should go? Hey, when we did it for Western Cluster, I have the receipt. We raised money, we sent it. How do you think we pay our lawyers? If that is the case, Tier 1 will reach out and say, I want to do this, guys. And guess what? Every evening, when there is a case file, we have to bring Tier 1 on to brief the nation on what has happened. He's not paying. If I were political advisor to Tier 1, they think that Cummings there talking, they would not be talking it to me. The JMB, then they would not be talking it to me. Because when I'm finished with Tier 1 will be the lead man. The whole country, Tier 1. They would not say, they would just be behind here, Tier 1.
They even call a man poor man lawyer. They go take broom and give it to the lawyer. Don't elevate that poor man lawyer thing. That the one the people want hear.
All the law picking in honor me and all of them together.
All the cases when you now win for innocent Liberian people who were tortured or so.
All the one there. I take the government, I sue the government, and I will be asking the government to do what? To pay the people.
Every single day, keep them in court in their own code.
I just keep your in court. All Jim's girlfriend there. Yeah, they may have fighting for all.
Exactly.
They may have fighting for all. Oh, yeah. They may have fighting for all. But until the blue be passing, they put them hungry. They put hungry. So, okay, go ahead with the tip. We're gonna move on, transition to another part of the program.
As of now, the CPP, under the leadership of Mr. Cummings, has a position. And that position is Ambassador Boakai, having served this country for over 42 years. I would like for you to give me the opportunity for you to endorse my candidature as presidential candidate and give me a running mate, and then two of us run. That is the CPP position. Ambassador Boakai will have to come back with a counter proposal. And no matter what that counter proposal is, the CPP is willing to sit with Ambassador, but for its standard bearer to sit with Ambassador Boakai to find a common ground now that the two positions are clear. You going around to say that you want somebody to be somebody vice president. The Constitution and the laws of every political party.
Can you play the second clip?
Then we can talk about it. And we are prepared to sit down and talk about it. We are not running away from it. And we are not saying that it's not possible. And we are not saying that we can't do it. But this is a decision under our constitution that only Mr. Bawka can take. Nobody else. And so from today, I don't want to hear anybody telling me any rubbish about Cummings must be Bawka vice president. If Bawka wants it, he will make the call. And if he makes the call, we will evaluate the call. We have made a call to him. Of course, he gave us an answer. We respect that answer. Let him give his to us. We will evaluate and we'll sit down. For the sake of this country, we'll come up with a single ticket.
Do you have the second video? Okay, that's the same thing. Now,
what a speech. No one else speaks that kind of truth like that.
Okay,
we're not saying anything with Taya. Thank God, Berete can't talk.
Don't rush. You can confuse me sometimes. One day, I see saying in CDC closet, just going to hungry child. Today, now again, you in ANC closet. Tomorrow again, you'll be buried in the library. Anytime
somebody talk sense, I clap for them. How looking? So I'm not CDC, I'm not UP, I'm not nothing.
He won't hear anybody talking that rubbish.
I agree with him. I fully agree with him.
Okay. Now, he talks about, it's not just because he said rubbish, though. My thing to all three of you on the show is not the word rubbish or all the other things. The fact that he says that, look, listen, man, I don't want to hear anybody talking about Kumi should be VP to Joseph Boakai. He won't hear nothing. He said, Unde Bawka can make that call to ask Cummings for him to be his VP. That was clear in the video. So here is what I'm saying now. What we have heard is that Cummings have reached out to Boakai to please take him as the VP. That rumor that we're hearing, assuming it was true that Cummings reached out to Boakai asking to serve as his VP. Let me read that one. Our statement. Look at the way Dr. Richardson look at me. She knows straight our statement say, hey, talking at us so we can take Dr. Richardson off course. No, but no Dr. Richardson. So forget about that one. He says only JMB can make that call. Until JMB makes that call, I don't want to hear anybody talking about rubbish that he should go to JMB as a VP pick. The question there now, Dr. Francine, I'll start with you. Where we are now, do you think JMB will, because he's saying when you're not talking, only one person can make the call. Do you think JMB will make that call?
So I want to start by saying this matter is so important to our country that I wouldn't want to even attempt to speculate who called who, when, how, and all of those things. What I would like to say is that you don't campaign to be a vice president. It is the presidential candidate priority and prerogative to select someone that he or she thinks will work well with her in terms of implementing policy for the best interest of our country. So I'm putting this squarely on again, consistent with what Musa Bildi said, squarely on the feet of Boakai. If he feels any presidential candidate, that's their job to go and vet their vice presidential candidate. So that's how I feel about this matter.
So I'll put it back to you again before I go to the other two. What if Boakai does not make the call? What would you like to see happen going forward? Meaning two of them now will now enter the race against President Weah. What would you like to see going forward?
Apparently, you haven't been to psychology, to therapy before. Psychologists don't answer.
What are going to question before I can't go in front of you?
So you actually want me to answer that question? What if, I already told you, I'm going to wait and see what happens. And then let's talk about it, okay? But I was just kidding. Psychologists don't answer calls.
No, they say,
I'm back at you.
I said, I'm looking like question, man. I'm saying that from the librarian standpoint because anytime they talk about psychiatric or something like that, the Liberian mentality, they don't think about stress, they don't think about trauma. So you say psychiatry that the play question where we conclude. So look at even me I'm feeling now come to.
That's good. That's a good
That
point.
the person eating money just
I
for counseling somebody who
tell
saw
you.
table. The
Yes.
person was passing and saw the table in the grass.
Yes.
That the person got to counsel them. We
Yes.
will say, where you going? Oh, I'm going to the psychiatrist. Oh, you can say.
And if I go just aside joke, we have an area called Cherry Hill. For those of you who might be familiar with the Jersey
Yeah,
area.
I know Cherry Hill.
It's a lot of rich kids live there. And
Yeah.
almost every single kid in high school has a psychologist in that school. Can you imagine? So that's a highly populated area with rich people. So I just wanted to we laugh at that.
Father, you're making the thing sound good. Like Paul, they say you sucker.
You sucker.
Anyway, yeah.
But anyway,
good
Iremi, you heard ability. I don't want to hear anybody say XYZ. Iremi, it's Bwaka that is supposed to make the call. What if Bwaka does not make the call? What would you like to see going forward?
You know, here is where our multi-party democracy instinct kicks in. If Ambassador Barker does not make the call, then he's drawing the line, right? I'm not saying this with a threatening voice. Then he's drawing the line to say, I have factored everything that will be at stake. I am willing for the vote, the opposition vote, to be divided, to be shared, more so with a contending party. Okay? And on the part of Alex Cummings, clearly people don't call to become someone's running mate. There's nowhere in the book that precedent is set. You can call to obtain a job. And as we say, when you obtain a job, they will look at your credential, including what you profess to say you are qualified for, which is what you have been done with the case of the airport. You say you get this, first they'll look for all of those things. Then they put you on the category 1 qualification. Now, I can tell you that Alex Cummings has now, the ability to foster his political ambition from a battlefront perspective. And he's going to be looking at all the lines, not only the ambassador's line, where they could have collaborated as one entity, if only, probably, because I continue to say Musa ability struck the chord of collaboration when he said there will be a counter proposal that we will be able to sit down and review jointly after that with whoever is sending forth that proposal. That is a sign of, that's a conciliatory sign. The same conciliation occurred when we went over to Farmington. The opposition, including Alex Cummings, sat there and allowed Ambassador Boakai to speak. There are so many good clues. So if the ambassador himself chooses not to pursue that front, which I think is one of the proposals that anybody reasonable, knowing that we have this crowded field, first thing
30 seconds.
First thing they'll do, they'll begin to bring all the forces together and try to lead from that point. Or it could not be Madam Sirleaf. She would have jumped on this in no time. You understand? Leaders are different. I'm not making comparison, but I'm just citing one particular person that would have done the most survey thing to say this is the voice that people have been crying over. Let me try it. But if he doesn't, then the ambassador would have drawn the line. Then you will see us on the other side of the aisle. Definitely.
Thank you. Leo, I need not repeat myself.
Thank you. So first of all, I'm glad somebody finally see things from my context, because I've said this over and over. I cannot understand, for the heaven of me, Ellis Cummings has said time without
For
number.
the wedding of you, Harry?
Yeah, for the heaven of me.
See,
Ellis
are you
Cummings
trying
has
to
said,
offend Jesus?
that the player going, I'm not calling play. You who not trust whether you're going to heaven, you're on your own. Me, that the player not going.
Okay,
So
for the heaven of you, okay.
and I said time without number. I said for the heaven of me, that he's made it very clear that he's running to be president. And he said he believes that is the position in which he can have the most impact in changing Liberia.
Correct.
He said when they were in the CPP that if I lose the primaries, I will support Vice President Boakai for president. But I never heard that coming from Vice President Boakai in return. He didn't return the favor. CPP broke apart. Ellis Cummings has made it very, very clear that he wants Vice President Boakai to drop out of the race and lift for his hand to run for president. That is Ellis Cummings' position. It's very, very clear. If Unity Party has an offer for Alexander Cummings and believe that there's a pathway for collaboration, I ask this question here. Can anybody emphatically tell me if Unity Party or Ambassador Boakai have ever made an offer to ANC? People are like, how do you not know they make it? People are acting like, Belete just confirmed that is never, ever received. So how disrespectful is it that when Unity Party goes all around in the media, they may not want to be vice president. He said he can't be vice president. He not want to be vice president. It's denigrating. It's disrespectful. If Ambassador Boakai does not believe that Ellis Cummings is competent to be his vice president, he will go away. They will meet at the ballot box. The other thing I would say, who asked for a collaboration talk? And at the mistake, I think Senator John Balu made. You telling two people to come in the room, but you telling the other man, say, "Una come in the room, accepting that you una take the other position." Let them go in the room. Let Vice President Boakai look at Cummings and say, "Cummings, this is where I think we need to go. This is the solution." And then let Cummings say, "Babe, and I agree on this solution that you put for don't make sense to me. Here is what I put on the table." And then the people who are around them can go to bargaining and decide what if Vice President Boakai does not agree and they can agree, then fine, we can know that they've tried. But we're talking about two BB people that are small children we're talking about. You who want to be president, you have the privilege to pick your vice president. Cummings never asked Boakai to be vice president. Cummings said Boakai might lay for a hand. Boakai is running to be president. If he thinks Cummings should run as vice president to him, make the offer, give Alexander Cummings the opportunity to address himself to your offer. So I would say this to everybody today. Musa Belete could not have been so correct. You want Cummings to collaborate? If I hear about it, was a Cummings now significant, and I want him. Fine. Thank God for someone like Ellis Cummings. You know why I say thank God? Their attitude, their arrogance in the political scene in Liberia. When you go to Liberia, you got to go bow down to the political mullahs, the corrupt people. Just a few days, some of the people that were calling the most corrupt were calling them all kinds of names that were on the other side. They are now the chief surrogates for Vice President Boakai now, running campaign. Some of them to Ellis Cummings side too, running campaign. We might go bow down to them. No, Cummings said he wants to be president. He will make his case. If he doesn't make his case good enough for the Liberian people to vote for him, he will know where he went wrong. But he will start, Cummings will be respected later on down the road when we know that you can go to Liberia, hold your own and stand for a principle, man, for once.
Thank you. Thank you. I want somebody in the studio to come and take the call. Let me have my own say after all three of you have had your say. And I will be very independent on this. There is this perception out there that Ellis Cummings was brought in by Ellen Johnson Sirleaf in 2017, which is a fact, not a fiction. Now that Alex have matured a little bit into Liberian politics, wants to do his own thing.
Clarify that Alex was brought in by Ellen Johnson Sirleaf.
I said there is this perception. What do I need to clarify? Perception and reality? Not reality.
No, but you said
there is this perception. There is this perception. That's why I come into
reality.
There is this, hold on. There is this perception that that Alex was brought in by what's her name? Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf.
Yeah.
But when Alex was decorated and his move with Ellen surfaced, all of us went there and saw what we saw. It is not a secret, it is a fact. He was decorated with our nation's highest honor and everything.
Yes.
Now, with that said, he has matured in Liberian politics over the last couple of years, and apparently he wants to walk on his own path. But there is this general fear amongst people surrounding both leaders. On the Kumi side, they think that he wouldn't perform well under Boakai. On the Boakai side, they see Kumis as an agent of Ellen. Whereas both sides, from the way they're going, I don't foresee Boakai making the call. And here is why. Because of these things that I just said to you, we know it. And if that call is not made, the question I ask you guys, where do you see us going? A signing of collaboration in the second round. I'm not sure how that's going to work out. Also, I foresee that the parties are going to say, look, let's say who should put candidates where they are strongest. Kumis, if you are strong in Maryland, then we'll not put candidate there. We'll let ANC put the candidate there. And then we support the ANC candidate. That could be another possibility. But if I tell you I hear rumors, I don't say it's a fact. My rumors I got was that Balu, he's coming tomorrow. That Belete concocted this plan and had someone sell it to Balu. And Balu bought the plan and Balu decided to push it forward. But Balu coming tomorrow.
That's in a fairy tale, man. But let me tell you the rumor I heard. Let me tell you the rumor I heard quickly before you go to the people. Yeah, the rumor I heard. The first rumor I heard is that John Balu was the only man of reason in the Unity Party when they were about to break away from the CPP. Now, the rumor I heard, they kicking their cell while they broke away from the CPP. They don't know what kind of need to give any other coalition. The second rumor I heard, the biggest political player in the country that could single-handedly win an election for the Unity Party, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, they're not able to bring their own partisan back. They're not able. They failed to bring her back into their fold. Like, what kind of thing that the biggest, most successful unit?
You were there when the old man went there recently. And
I see her supporting her. I see her supporting her now, right now. Y'all go.
But you know, support come in different fashion.
Yeah, that why now I see it. Y'all go now. Y'all carry the support.
Fango, you just admitted that that's the biggest fear.
You said that the biggest fear that you're getting
for Alex coming.
No, I said people in the other room. Why about y'all not fear?
You're not able to bring your old man Ellen back. Y'all go bring the old man back, man. Y'all bring that only old man. Your future to the old man.
That one vote.
No, that one vote. Ellen, the whole country. Ellen can still go ahead and win the election for you. What are you talking about?
No, she retired from politics.
You not see her look. That the only president that I run 2 times because we have 2 times. The only president in history that we have election twice in our modern democracy.
Ellen will ever retire from politics? The only Ellen that will retire from politics is the late Ellen.
She likes swimming in the morning, eating her yellow soup. Around 12 or people then come, they bring she like, I call her drink, man. Poor Messi.
We're talking about deep state. That's some of the deep state there you should think about.
So, you know, before you go to the phone lines, I want to just add, we Liberians, we like the easy way out. You know, we like for companies to come and say, you cease to exist, and we just accept it. We want Balu to come and say, I'm just going to act like I'm orchestrating a puppet show over here. You know, Boakai, you become president. Cummings, you become vice president. XYZ, you become pro-tem. It doesn't work like that in democracy.
They say when you know full of man, you call everybody.
Kumis spending your money. They say they will eat Kumis money. That your business and a Kumis money. Let them eat it. That's not your business. Y'all go run and win.
You saw you probably 70,000.
There are choices.
Which
I
one?
suspect you, Leo.
70,000 is too small for me. I would do the 70,000. That 2 of my trips.
I will make you work hard. I will make you guys.
When I fly to Amsterdam, when I go to Liberia to pay all my workers, that 2 of my trips. Yeah, the 70,000 to pay all of my workers. I got 36 people on payroll. What are you talking about?
He paying 36 people 70,000.
I say I paid 36 people 70,000. Then I want to tell you, I said that the cost of 2 of my trips, including payroll for my workers.
You said you don't pay them 2 trips.
I read here, I'm not dying. Let me tell you the thing I say now. They're not recording playing. They're not recording playing. They're not recording playing. I'm running a project at $786,000. You think how much they got to pay? So you think I'm paying that $32 the way I'm going to do it? I'm not paying that $32 the way I'm going to pay. Their salary are not $32. They're recording over and over. Their salary are not $32. I will bring the contractor for you. I will bring the contractor for. Let me tell you.
You will be cited.
Poverty and not bash or honor in Liberia to be successful is a good thing.
70,000 in 2 months, and the government let 15,000 people go.
So let me tell you today, that thing we can do, like, bro, everybody want Apple. When you're successful, it's a good thing. Tell your children to follow Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, to follow Alexander Cummings. Then people that became very successful. It's a poverty, they're not bash or honor. We're all fighting to leave poverty.
Leo, that ain't the way we leave poverty when you pay 70,000.
So how much will pay them $32?
That's nice now.
No,
I saw pay them $32.
we don't know what the people are doing.
Oh no, you don't see the bidding going up. You don't see the bidding going up. You don't know what they're doing.
Well, bidding going on at 2 by 4 block.
No problem. That's 2 by 4 block paying for.
I can see that. You can see that today, right?
They say you can see sleeping in a power.
Oh,
that power you can see too.
That happened.
You can see. I think he's going to Bam party.
No, it's on right now.
We've been calling the man for almost 8 days.
Bam having party.
He want to have party. The 400 is saying he had to go pay the people then tap.
Hey, fuck on.
He just leg up for the money key. Just leg up for the money key. He was in 1 3-piece suit. Let's go to the line and hear from our people. 2 things they can speak on, either or. That is, when I say either or, sir, I mean they can either talk about the airport or they can talk about the candidates coming together as to whether Joe Boakai is going to make the call or whether he should make the call at all. It's their right. It's their platform. They can speak whatever they want, either or. Let's open the lines. Yeah, Kazi.
Okay, the numbers are 0777 771 075, 0777 771 075, 0555 Let's talk to this person. Good evening.
How you doing, man?
I'm okay. You want to lower the volume of your radio or walk away from it? Let's hear you. Your name and where you call from. Hello? Okay, we lost that caller. Hello, your name and where you call from.
Hello, yes, and hello to the panelists. This is DJ Lemar from Kowa.
Okay.
Look, thank you very much. Look, my brother. Those people that only say to Eric Cummings, they will be mentioned, and I hope they will come back to apologize to the Liberian people. I saw the ticket, is a winning ticket. And the other families are ordered. You can't go to school for 12 years. Let your college school. And over time, your 12 years. And then, I edit your book for you. The way to flexibility. This coming just coming from a corporate world. The corporate world, I think, do not come. Do not come with business, do not come with business, do not come with the jail today. This thing is a learning curve. It is time that on the coming to go on a Boakai. At the end of the day, where after Boakai means, there's a pathway for you. You sit down the old map to plan new map. You can't sit down the new map to plan map. This thing is just clear. If Mr. Cummings go with Boakai, you got to wait. But if I saw the both of them lose there at the election, let Cummings forget it and Omer Boakai will be out.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's talk to this person. Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Your name and where you join us from?
My name is Keflo Fokpa Zese, and I took off from Chekotan Lundstad. Let me appreciate the people for the platform. And I want to say this to Dr. Francel. I love him so much, but one thing you got to know that if you just get it in mind that Alexander B. Cummings can be president in this country without the free will of Joseph Newman Boakai, the ambassador, then you are getting it wrong, because you are one of the person that keep fooling Mr. Cummings. And Mr. Cummings has the great opportunity to become president for this nation through the ambassador Joseph Newman Boakai. So,
okay, we lost that caller, but let's talk to this person. Good evening.
Yeah.
Your name and where you join us from?
Good evening.
Good evening. Let's hear you. Your name and where you join us from?
I'm Alfred here.
Oh, Alfred, welcome back.
Yeah, thank you. Now, we're talking about Joseph Boakai to call and tell Cummings, say, yeah, I want you to be my running mate. But you see, this is politics. There is opportunity for even the ruling party to get out in the first round. I don't know why people just complaining. There is a big reason also for the ruling party to go out in the first round, where even then the children human being crying for now, which is the Liberian people, then they can go to work now. Liberian people will decide now between Cummings and Joseph Boakai. I don't know why people so worried and people so scary, or I don't know whether that's scariness or what. I don't know.
Okay, thanks for calling. Let's talk to another person here. Good evening.
Good evening, and my name is Victor. I got some people. I don't know when to call on this show, but I've had to respond to certain things that Fagon told me. When an American ambassador said that people sit in the comfort zone and just speak out loud, you were talking to, Eugene Fagon then. Eugene Fagon, you were the chief information minister. When I say chief, you, when Councilor Gongo, even the Nigerian who were appointed at NEC, you are there. The chief against Councilor Gongo. Councilor Gongo is the only person in the bar history that spoke against issues. Even the American ambassador got out him for a delegate with a leadership. Councilor Gongo have worked from 1978 up to now. He's working. He will see 3 persons somewhere, he will go there and speak to them. You on a particular show and talk about Jeremiah Kuhn. Jeremiah Kuhn takes 30,000 every day. Then you at least that religion, when that religion is talking and Leo talking, I can see for you.
Thank you. Let's talk to another person. Good evening. Your name and where you join us from?
Yeah. Super S. Kawi calling from Peter City.
Okay, let's hear you.
I just want to get my offer tonight. The Collaborative Party is all part of it. And when we are in such a thing, we are very, very motivated. We want for Alexander Cummings and Ambassador Joseph Iman Kwaka, which is our for them to come together. When they come together, at least we the Liberian people, we are suffering. We're suffering, my brother. Now, as I'm speaking to you, I'm a security personnel. As work whole day, no money. Our children, they don't go to school. We don't get money to pay our children their school fees. So we are dying slowly. Slowly we are dying. Those 2 people, they're the one we're depending on to rescue us.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. This person, good evening. Your name and where you join us from?
Good evening.
Good evening. Let's hear you. Your name and where you join us from?
I'm Sukumara, calling from Oro.
And Sue, let's hear you.
Thank you for the show. I just want to make 2 points. Number one, let us start emphasizing against the Ghanaian or Nigerians that contract have been given to. There are people who our government for giving them contract. Number 2, Colin Gray knows that at the border point we call it access control. If you give your mouth to foreign to put anything in your mouth in your stomach, we will be here control. By giving our effort to foreigners, whether like Guinea or Ghana, leave the name, it's not fine for us. And the commercial knows that the government error. He doesn't need any other lawyer, any Liberian can take government to court and win a case. But please, that's why our government is responsible and start laying emphasis on ECOWAS.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's talk to this person. Good evening. I'm sorry. Please walk away from the radio before calling us or lower the volume. Let's talk to this person. Good evening. Good evening.
Yeah.
Your name and where you join us from? Hello?
Yeah. Hello?
Hello, your name and where you join us from? Hello?
Hello?
Your name and where you join us from? Let's hear you.
I just speak to you from Broadville City.
Your name again?
I'm Andrews. I speak to you from Broadville City.
Let's hear you, Andrew.
Yeah, I just want to say hi to Dr. Francine and the entire panelist team there, Mr. Fagon. And I want to say thank God because I've been praying in my weekly silently to hear the voice of the former CEO because he has been so nice to we Liberians, even though today I'm going through some situation that he wanted to help him, but God didn't set that time for me. My legs got broken and I went to JFK. Iron was injected in me. I called on the show several times and the former CEO consented to help me. Unfortunately, something else came in.
Okay.
But today, I want to appeal to the panelists, the team there, please kindly help me so I can take away my life because the pain I'm going through, I can no longer bear. The iron is out of my leg and I'm just struggling bear with an engineer like me.
Thank you. Thank you.
I need medical assistance.
All right. I think they have heard your plight. Let's talk to this person. Good evening. Hello.
Good evening.
Your name and where you join us from?
Thank you. I'm M. Tuba Jr. I joined from a resident to community this evening.
Let's hear you.
Yeah, I want to speak about the candidacy of the former vice president if he's going to make the call. And if he's going to make the call, if Mr. Kumi is going to accept this call. The thing, it is a good thing, to have a ticket with JD. But then, if this ticket, a winnable ticket, the Liberian people are resolved. If Mr. Baga is going to make the call or not, the Liberian people are going to re-elect President George Malawiya. But I want to encourage them to form opposition unity for them to see how the Liberian people will vet the anger at the bottom to re-elect President George Malawiya. And let me encourage the former vice president to take the step because the CPP chairman have taken a step. They said they have taken the first step. It is level. The former vice president will take his own step and make the call. But then the former vice president is looking for money, so he is taking money from Cummings. A number of Cummings were from Heron Petro Costa. He want money for Jeremiah Cummings. That's the Jeremiah from Lima County, the Senator Jeremiah Kuhn. Which I think it is wrong. You can't be a leader and you want to play double standard.
That is not substantiated.
Thank you. Let's talk to this person. Good evening. Your name and where you join us from? Good evening. Hello.
Hello.
Your name and where you join us from?
My name is Marshall. Live on Hotel Federal.
Let's hear you.
You see why? Today, people talking about Kumi. You see, that madam, that for you people on the air there, and Ben Sambi.
Dr. Richardson.
Yeah, that madam who always be on air is coming to that spoon station.
Her name is Dr. Richardson.
Dr. Richardson, that woman there, that woman, they do not love Liberia. Those people not love Liberia. Because they live in a diaspora and enjoying their life, doing everything. So they love Liberia. So they always like to show themselves that we can win election in this country.
Thank you. Let's hear you. Good evening. Your name and where you join us from?
Thank you very much. My name is DK.
I tell you.
Thank you very much. This is another political discussion is coming up with two John Barrier. The United Party have been resolved. The ticket that was announced that there is roaming around Jeremiah Kuhn and Joseph Imam Fuaka, it will be the rightful ticket. But the CDC people are looking at that ticket to be one of the biggest and the greatest tickets. So the reason they are trying to use people that John Barrier to go and do some distraction all around for the United Party people to be confused and it will not happen. The Maya Pool ticket and the Joseph Imam Fuaka ticket will stay. That ticket is NIMA 1, NIMA 2, or NIMA 4 will go together and vote Joseph Imam Fuaka. 200,000 votes will be for Joseph Imam Fuaka for NIMA. You know how NIMA will vote.
Thank you. Let's talk to another person. Hello?
Yeah.
Your name and where you join us from?
I'm Sir Edward calling from Habel.
Sir Edward, let's hear you.
Yeah, you see, always we the Liberians, we are talking about Kumi and Fuaka ticket. Kumi is important to the society that he get more time to run. So, those are Ima Bwaka Ben or vice president. So we need that Kumi and Bwaka should go together. The moment of Bwaka serve the first term, Kumi take over, he will end it and turn around and run, and we will support. We the Liberian people, it will make the chance for the ticket is sport the election over John Weah will carry and will suffer for another 6 years. Now the people want to vote for us and they treating us this way. How much if we put them back for the second term? Baby mother will look at a chapel for long. He say, I want to take it because no food.
Okay.
So let we the Liberian think no one should criticize it or particular time. A Kumi can be this, a Bwaka can be this. Let's talk, encourage the people that they can come together. Let them hold together and discuss. But we should not be condemning.
Thank you.
A big people.
Thank you very much. Let's talk to this person. Hello, your name and where you join us from?
Good evening, Yakasi. My name is Princess Kai and I call from 72nd.
Okay, let's hear you.
I mean, my little woman talk more. The only female caller so far.
I wonder what really is happening to Liberians. Seriously. Because if you say, you say, you man, Bwaka can win, only he alone can win George Man we are. Then why Joseph Bwaka can go on his own and Kumi stay on his own? The coalition thing is not forced. Let Joseph Bwaka, if he can win the election, let him go and carry a campaign on, find his bars running there, and you leave Kumi alone. Like, girls, we are just deceitful to ourselves and we don't know what we really want. The same people who stop from us in a country, and the same people who still want to be beyond carrying them up and down, say, Joseph Bwaka can be George, we are fine. If Joseph Bwaka can be George, we are, then let Joseph Bwaka go away and stay on his own, and you leave Kumi to stay on his own. Certain time in life, you don't have to bow down to everything. The man stands to be president, and he must be president. Other people, George, we are King George, we are not president before, but he came, we look at him being president. Then things is going wrong, and Kumi don't want to put in the picture. I listening to the show, I'm getting pissed off with the Liberians. We ourselves, we have our own problem. And if they can work out our modality to be put in place, we remain like this. And just what the other quarter said, we suffer and we be into it. One thing I know, when we suffer and now one person, everybody inside it. Thank you for the time.
Okay, thank you, Princess.
No one represented the women tonight.
We'll take just 2 more calls and wrap it up.
Okay. Good evening. Your name and where you join us from?
We be Yakasi.
Your name and where you join us from?
Yes, him too. And I put my wrestling into Google.
Let's hear you.
Look, let me say this. I want to get to you and to Mr. Green, Green Red.
Great, Mr. Gray.
So, let me say this. Liberia is different from America. Liberia, you see, so 2017, you had OTP, Kumi, Afro Bronski, Joseph, we had all the final TP. We are never by NTP. But we are economic theory said that when the rev go high, we want to bring it down. So that all the people can buy it. In fact, we get encouraged to get it again. And nothing was no thing for anything that people say, yeah, we want you. You know, we want you. TP wait. Then the flavor president, we are. Let me say this, so you know, like Kumi people. Like American people can think they look competent. We're not really based on competence, based on popularity. What you can do now is, fresh Kumi, the younger, I love him a lot. Let him go really happy. When you say, what over, they comment this one well, Kumi on the campaign, how you going to people to the country?
Thank you.
Go with Bwaka. 1 second, please. If Kumi now go with Bwaka, anybody that Kumi and Bwaka carry as running mate. For Kumi to penetrate another thing, we present it, and now be half of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The last person.
Yeah, good evening. How are you?
I'm okay. Your name and where you join us from?
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm Tony from Peaceville and from district number 4. Yeah,
Okay.
This is Chuti Jaron. You know, I love the topic this evening. I listened to the former deputy minister, which is Eugene Facon, on the show. You know, when it comes from the land of unity party, let's be realistic to one another. The Liberian people, we need a better leader. We need a leader that will restore us. Look, and maybe both of you, we have been frustrated for the past 5 years, and we're in the 6th year. But we need a leader that will really pour on the red victory point comes this year, honestly. And that's why everybody are praying that everybody should go and do their registration to get a voter card that we will change our leader to get a rightful leader within the Republic of Liberia. Thank you very much for the show and your time.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. You heard the Liberian people speak. You heard their part, their version. They also heard you guys. Leo held his position that, look, let Kumi go. Dr. Francine she pled the fifth. She will reserve her comments. And Iremi say it is his hope that these people can find common ground. Having said that, the Liberian people came, they spoke their side of the story. What we do know now, for now, which is a fact, they are on their separate ways. They are doing their own little things. For example, tomorrow, Nyambli Kanga Lawrence will have a mini rally at her little compound and hold a press conference to address several national issues as well as the political issues. So she holds her mini rally tomorrow in Buchanan, Grand Bassa County. With that said, we'll go to our closing. Whether it be the airport or the decision for the candidates to merge, you have your pick. We say ladies first, we'll go to Dr. Francine. Because that kid can come us at any time now. It is a 6:40, right on the dot. So
Yes.
we'll give her that privilege.
You have that right. I'm going to take my time closing by talking about a lot of people who mentioned that, oh, Mr. Cummings just came to Liberia, and Vice President Bokar has been in government for years. I just want you to know, Liberians, that sometimes you can be in a job for years, you can be in school for years, and it doesn't mean that you know the job or you can do better with the job. We have a saying that I usually tell my students, because a doctoral program is a 6-year program. Don't allow the school to pass through you because you want to come and just go through the school. Make sure that you learn something and you contribute, which is what I've been talking about. You give back in the process. So today or tomorrow, when you ask me to write a reference letter for you, I can say, when XYZ was here, this is what he or she did that contributed to the classroom setting or to the university at large. Similarly, what have someone who has been in our body politics, Mr. Bokar, for 12 years, for 42 years, what have he done? That would be the question that I'm posing to you Liberians, okay? On the other hand, you can ask the same thing on Mr. Cummings. And, I can list a lot of things. In fact, Mr. Deputy Minister Falcon stated that he was honored as one of the most prestigious, successful Liberian. Ellen did that, and he didn't just get it just because he looks good. They recognized something in him. Balud was here, Senator Balud was here. He said this man is the most astute, competent person, Liberian, that we all should be proud of that we've ever met. That he will probably transform the economy of our country because he has worked with budget even larger than our country's budget. And then another argument some of you often bring is, I hear this whole thing about, he worked in a corporation. This is a country. Well, for somebody who have worked in a system, in a school system for a very long time, there are similarities. One, they're both systems. Systems are ran by people. You can take one system and you put different leaders, you have different outcomes in that system. Okay? You take a system like Liberia and you put President Weah that you have in the system, you see what we have now. We have contracts being signed at the airport without anybody validating or anybody assessing, the importance of the contract or how it's going to affect Liberians. You can put another leader who will say, I would like to see the contract and deal with that, analyze it for at least 6 months before you implement the contract. There's no way you can come here and tell me that employers will cease to exist effectively May 30th just because we are switching from one company to another company. There's no way another leader will tell you that. One leader will let it slide. But I can trust and believe that Mr. Cummings will not let that slide. He will make sure that the best and brightest are given the opportunity to work in the best interests of Liberia. And the best and brothers means that people who are in Liberia, he will definitely respect Liberians and definitely give the opportunity for Liberians to contribute to making the country better. So that whole thing about corporation and system, Mr. Cummings, as a leader of a corporation, he made policies, he evaluated policies, and this is what you do as a president. You send your rules and policies to the legislature. You make recommendations to them. You lobby with them. You network with them. He did all of those things. He created budgets. That's what the president does. That's what he just did. You have to have a relationship with people, and that's what, to lead a company, he had a relationship with people. So I don't care. The argument is, oh, Coca-Cola had been here a long time, so he had a script. That's not true. I already debunked that argument for you already and said, you know, you can take two different leaders and put them in an organization, no matter how long the organization existed. One leader can let the organization go down to the ground. Another leader can let the organization go up. So I want to say that those of you who say, oh, I don't want to contribute to Liberia being a better place because I don't want Mr. Cummings to accept the role of vice president. Are you kidding me? Small potato like me, sitting down in the diaspora, you think a learned person like Mr. Cummings, the man who been in business, he held the highest position in company that me will go and tell him, I don't was supposed to tell him. Let me use some South African English. That I was supposed to tell him that, oh, you should do this and do that, and he will listen to me. This is where critical thinking comes in place. And I started off by, I said somewhere along the line that we want an easy way out. And Mr. Cummings said, I'm going to make this government work hard for the Liberian people. And that's what we should be thinking. Let us use our thinking skills. Don't just let anybody come and say, I'm going to orchestrate who's going to be president, who's going to be vice president, who's going to be president, and everybody clap say, hey, this man is in the best interest of Liberia. No, I saw that woman who got mad and said she don't understand Liberians. This is our moment to think for our country. And on that note, I'm telling you, I'm begging your people, go register to vote. This is the only way you'll make your voice to be heard in our country. I beg you, I hold your foot. Let's put our country on the right track. Everywhere we go, they can be laughing at us. By the time you say Liberian, because me sometimes I can slip out of my mouth because the Liberian can call on me. I like that. In fact, I like to be in the middle when I'm in the class and the only black person in the class where I'm speaking to all Caucasian people. Sometimes I can say, hey, yeah, my people, y'all see. Okay? And the children can say, what you said, Dr. Richard said, I say, hey, y'all, excuse me, I forgot where I was for a moment there. Okay?
Dr. Richardson said white people, no say Caucasian.
Yeah, the white people. Okay, yeah, I'm taking like brother license today, okay? So I'm telling you, so let's put our country on the right track so that we can be that beacon of hope. Once upon a time, y'all heard Mr. Fagon here today. He said the Ghanaian people here used to come to our country. Our schools had Ghanaian teachers, okay? When their country couldn't support them, they came to Liberia. And this is where we want our country to go. And the only people can do that are really Liberian people. So I beg you, please put our training back in school so they won't be selling. I beg you, let put paracetamol in the hospital there again. I beg you, so pregnant women don't have to be held hostage in the hospital after she have a baby just because she can't get out of the hospital. So I'm begging you, let's vote for the right person, in my opinion. And I'm entitled. One thing I can't this show for because I like the exchange of ideas. You see, oh yeah, we may not have the same thoughts, the same views, but we respect each other. I respect Remy Grace's idea. I respect Mr. Johnson's idea. I respect Minister Fagon's idea. And that is what we want to model for you guys. And so I beg you guys, I believe Mr. Cummings can put our country on the right track. He can make a more deserving Liberia, in his words, and he has been working hard. When the last time you heard any opposition leader speak about the ills in our society? The paper trail. We can count them more than 10,000 times Mr. Cummings have gotten up to speak for the Liberian people. So on this note, I encourage you to register to vote, and please let your voice be heard. I respectfully submit, as Mr. Fagon can say, Benensi is not popping from my mouth today.
Thank you. We now go to Remy Gray at 6:49.
They were
All right,
on fire before Remy go.
yeah, the thing is, when sometimes when they say Conor Gray, most Liberians can think that I'm an American colonel. I am an AFL colonel.
Man saying AFL soya.
Yeah.
Why are you making it fun for? Just you want to toss on it.
They no go.
Be a fellow, man.
You want to no go?
Man saying no go AFL soya.
I no go. You understand? So most people don't know when they hear colonel, and somehow look like American people because living in America, that's how it's supposed to be. But the thing about life is, we were in our politics, and I went to college in Liberia and studied Liberian politics. The late Grady Allison, because I was a soldier, I go medal in politics. That's all we used to do. They sent me to Bele Alaya 2-3 times. Postdoc kid, our tea, breakfast, and dinner for some of us. So Liberian politics is soaked in my flesh. That's not the point. The last time Liberians ever, came closer to electing a son of Nimba was Jackson Fayado. And that was in 1985, before most of you were born. Jackson Fayado, number one, primarily was, some would say, as a historian, others have made the argument that the rejection came, yes, the election was rigged, but the rejection came because of the region Jackson Fayado came from. There's a reason why PYJ can win election, in as much as it will come close. Now that the Liberian people are not willing to put a son or daughter from Nimba in the executive mansion. But I can also make the argument that they are not ready yet. In as much as people are saying they're not ready for Alex Cummings, they probably are not ready yet. Sorry to say that. You have to do the heavy lifting here. So when you're taking a son from Nimba, there's a reason why Conway, all the time Brumskin ran in Liberia, was way on the top, maybe the first 3. He chose a son from Nimba. I don't think he went anywhere with that election. So, either way you can look at it as well. There are other reasons why people should not rush on this ticket with Ambassador Buckeye and leave and lose this glaring opportunities. Yes, Liberians may, according to the case others are making, they might not be ready to choose Alex Cummings because we don't like to scrutinize people, even the qualified ones who don't care. Yet we'll take a Ghanaian farm without scrutinizing them, get them the contract, the job to do, then later on say, bring your qualification to show that you fit for this job. You get a man the job already. Try that one with Cummings. Gain the job first before you ask him for his qualification and see what will happen. Whether the country will not start moving. But I'm not saying that the ambassador, Buckeye, cannot make his choice. I think the train tire boss. He's not going anywhere. He's stuck at the service station there. Until we fix that train will not move. You put the wrong people in there, it will fall down. You understand? Everybody on that train will crash. So make sure you come back and look at, do this like this is your last choice, your last opportunity to run. It's on both sides. I say it's on the ambassador side, it's on Alex's side. You don't have the luxury to be running for the presidency all the time. You come back the third time and say, Papa, go sit down, man. You've been running behind this thing for one of the main president. We'll make you president a long time. So think about it before you make that decision. People think certain people get the edge now to be running mate to the ambassador. But that could be the same reason why he could lose the election as well. And I will ask you to say, reflect on this soberly, like this is your last time running for the presidency, Ambassador Buckeye and Alex Cummings. Both of you are very qualified Liberians. But remember, we are going to elect from a small pool of voters. If you divide our vote, You know, maybe one person will have the edge. Is that enough? We say take this thing on the first landslide victory, first round, and finish with let a man who gave me our
One more minute.
to Ghanaian people, the Sierra Leone people, to all the kind of people. Let a man get off our back so that our country can go back to the right path where it belongs. We're proud people who can't afford for Ghanaians to be coming to our country, taking our airport, our national waterway, our entry point, simply because we got a dummy sitting down somewhere there calling himself president. Sorry for sounding this way, but that's exactly what it is. If you can give George Weah the presidency, I see no reason why you should have apprehension in making Alex come. You talking about he come from corporate. He come where did George Weah come from to become president? Corporate. The man was chasing behind football. Is there any qualification for you to gain president? You made him president without even arguing.
30 seconds, sir.
Well, you want debate why you should give us a consummate leader who has gone with proven record. You want debate about it. Man, let's sit down, man. Thank you so much, my brother.
Thank you. We now move over to Leo. As you can see, everybody had 5 minutes. Me, I will not take 5 minutes. I'll take 2.
Anyway,
Leo, go ahead.
Thank you. So the first thing I want to say, Ambassador Rachel Deeks, I know you are watching. She wanted us to provide clarification that she knows firsthand that she was part of a group of Liberians who helped lobby Alexander Cummings to go to Liberia in 2015. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf knew nothing about it. So I just wanted to put that out there. She asked specifically for us to clarify that to the public, that he was lobbied by a group of Liberians in the US to go to Liberia in 2015 to run for the presidency of Liberia. By the way, she sent me some kind of parcel today, right? And the Rachel, the thinking, I don't know what things are. I'll open it later on and settle. So
you see that kind of thing that going on around the show.
Let me get to my thing.
To tell you because they gave you parcel.
No, she posted on the team, man.
She actually asked me to say, but I didn't see it.
Yeah, man, eating my
You are talking about Jeremiah Kun giving me money. I told you that the money I bought the shares with you for.
Yeah.
The other man that now received parcel, he made an announcement.
But she's not running. But she's not running to be president. But she's not running, so that one okay. She's not in the race.
They may not give me no money, but we see
Being transparent, Leo is just transparent.
So right now, we don't even know what in the past. So
I'm not telling you that one. You will say that by yourself. Take me to my heart to open it.
My brother passed Gramby in our team.
I will eat my past Gramby. But anyway, let me say this first. That thing in Liberia, where people think you know what happened to you. It's a new day. I'm sorry. Those are you who are interested in winning election in October. Some are more interested in nation building and not winning elections. It's a bigger picture of nation building. So all the things we're talking, the people who got 5 years, 10 years, 15 years on their life, they're expecting all of us to mortgage our future just so they can enjoy their last 10 years and be going and leave us in a mess. We not agree to it. I will say this again. I've said this before. The leader is supposed to be the servant of the people. The leader is supposed to take the path that no one has taken. The word lead means to step forward. It does not mean to sit down and relax and everybody work for you. No. They're not tyrant. That's what tyrants do. So I will say this again. Those of y'all, and I know also you're not like accountability in Liberia. When they say you let a person, then you might just be there lying. Even a person not doing good. When you criticize the person, I mean, you're not letting the person anymore. No. We will be criticizing our own this time because how it's supposed to work. We want them to get better. Ambassador Vice President Joseph Boakai, former Vice President Joseph Boakai, if you think, and I'm saying again, if you think, because I don't know this for a fact, I've never heard former VP say he wants Cummings to be his vice president. I've never heard this. This has only been in the air. I let everybody taking it and acting like that's true. They know it for a fact. We don't know that. I've never heard that being said. But let's take it that way, if that is the case, then the VP must lead. And that means to step forward. If that is the case. If that is not the case, thank God for someone like Mr. Cummings who decided that he okay with the Liberian people eating the money he will run. Because you know why? We need to start sending messages to our little children in Liberia that it is okay to stand up for what you believe, even when you are against the odds, even when nobody sees it fit. Today, we all pass around and hail Nelson Mandela, People are pretty sure someone would have said Nelson Mandela stupid. The post just say this small thing, you weekend, you free. You said no, you gotta go to jail for 27 years. Like Brent Paul say, and you see that crazy one there, he may say, just say the small thing when the post finish, you go do your thing, also who harm on you. But you go put you say in jail for 27 years. They'll say you saka. But today, that we the one can pass around and say Nelson Mandela, that smart man. Dr. Martin Luther King, same idea. Left his family, abandoned his family for the civil rights movement. People would have been who me, my family, got executed in the young 30s. Just because of what today?
Rosa
Parks. And the list goes on. No, but today, you say, Cummins said he won't be president. He will spend the money, Cummins has said, he will do what it takes. He will do the work. If he does not meet up with it and does not become president, so be it. He's giving account of himself. That is how, that a new way we're supposed to start taking decision in Liberia. We might not start taking decision because of the gravy train. No. You won't win election in October. The trouble will get out here. Alexander Cummins is 66-year-old. People say he's young man. Young man from what place? 66 years old. What a young man is. In a real world, in an okay world, Alexander Cummins not even supposed to be running. Bwaka not supposed to be running. They've all passed their prime. But we are where we are. So today, what are you, Bwaka? Some of all who can talk, because me and I suppose, and I care who we part of the majority, we're not in any party. That where we are. So we'll vote by the substance of what counts. The same way you told us in 2017. You told us in this place that President George Weah was the God sent. You saw vision in Liberia. Pastor them preach, deliver prophecy. You live with the prophecy today. You want correlation? Exactly. You want correlation? You work for it. Nobody going to make it. You don't want correlation? No problem. You can win the election by yourself. Let United Party run. Let ANC run. But I thank God for Samuel Alexander Cummins for standing his ground for his principles. You can disagree with him politically. That's fine. You can argue. But it's here, everybody that get together. Nobody know the people playing. We see JMB playing here. We see no political roadmap here. We see nothing. Let the people get together. Then when the people get together, the JMB, let's say they win the election. The JMB people jump in his camp and say, make sure Cummins don't get anything. Let isolate him. Then the Cummins people to get in the camp of Cummins, the vice president people and the president people fighting instead of them joining together to lead the country. That's exactly what will happen. Because right now, the two people can't even go, they can't even get together. The two parties, look at them fighting. When United Party people throw one bomb, ANC people throw one bomb, then you're convincing all that 6 months to the election. They might come together and just form coalition for the sake of winning an election. Why? Because George Weah bad? No. The Liberian people should not be voting because George Weah bad. The Liberian people should be voting because someone is proffering something better. Majority of people you talk to, yeah, there's an Akumi man smart. There's an Akumi man know about the economy according to Senator John Balu then. Yeah, he's smart, but when it comes to winning, you know, the men are connecting, people not know the men are really connecting. Then the next day we hungry, like brother, the hungriest country, we poor, that the economy the problem. Whoever you believe can fix the economy, vote for them in October. If you believe that Cummins, vote for Cummins. If you believe that Bwaka, vote for Bwaka. If you believe that George Weah, vote for George Weah. Nobody might intimidate anybody here. You vote for who you want. The people who want to run, the Lala party, the one people can go fund 23 party when election coming just so they can go to somebody to get them small money. That's that the narrative in like, bro, you found something in a party, only you and your family. Ellis Cummins said he's serious to become president. For once, let somebody do something because they're serious about it. If you're able to convince him to run with you in a collaboration, do it. If you can't, let him stand on his principles and run. Tomorrow he will reflect and say whether he was wrong or right. But nobody should intimidate anybody here because after the 2023 that you're coming to do is a new narrative and this is the beginning of it. Disagree or agree with the politics, that's not my business. That one is your issue. We can argue that. But when it comes to forcing somebody to make it look like they must bow down to somebody, hell no. Nobody has earned that right. If you want to be a leader, step forward. Lead. Do the unthinkable. Shock people as to what people think you could not do.
Now you finish talking. The people radio them vibrating. But anyways, we gotta go. It's 7:03. Before James come, I want to play my first minute. I got my first minute out of my 5. I want to play a quick game. Conor Emigre, you got 10 seconds. Watch my finger. I will count it. Conor Emigre, who was the VP choice to Alexander Cummins in 2017?
Jeremiah Salonte.
Very good. Where is he now?
He probably, I don't know. He been crossing over. The last time I heard, he made a stop at CDC.
Bah, don't
It
eat my
was
time. Let
looking-
me take
it
my
was-
order free me.
No,
Bah,
no.
I want to ask you a question, bah. Bah, I go. But anyway, folks in Liberia listening to me right now. You heard my colleagues, they did their closing. All three of them made very powerful pitches to you. Here is my thing. Every political situation is unique. Even Joe Biden, who served as vice president to Barack Obama, if you are going to let a person serve with you for 12 years as the person who could most likely replace you in the event that you, Madam Salif, had died, you did not pick Joe Boakai, that if you had died, they were going to jump over you, Madam Salif, to pick Speaker. He was going to be the man to succeed you. And I want every Liberian listening to me. What if Madam President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf had died? Would Joe Boakai not have been your president? So what is it that Madam and the rest of the coup see on this man who served for 12 years that they don't want him to be president? If anything had happened to old man Joe, Madam Sirleaf, this man would have been your president. So if Madam Sirleaf had explicit confidence that this man could replace her in an event where she died, why has she been running away from him becoming president? There is a secret. We will get to the secret later. The reason why I hasten and not want to attack Alexander Cummings or to even go after Cummings, because no matter what we do, either Cummings or JMB will need each other in the end. So I will say to you, the Liberians, if he was good to be VP, he's good to be president. And if for any reason Mr. Cummings is supposed to join him, if the Cummings people feel that he has not done anything for 12 years, then I rest my case. They should not be even talking about collaborating with him. He's useless. What I do see and what Liberians pray for is for him and Cummings to make one ticket. But if that ticket does not work, I must promise you, the Liberian people, that I have committed myself to campaign vigorously for JMB. And I will make sure I put my political resources and capital to bear.
Have you joined the cartel? Have you joined the cartel?
Now, let's be clear. Today, we are watching a new movement. One day, he's good to be vice president, capable of replacing Madam Sirleaf in the event she had died. We don't know what happened. She did not support him publicly to be president. 6 years down the road, he comes back again and say, I want to lead. And today, we see a hitch. We, as Liberians, must find out the reason why he was good to be vice president for 12 years, but he's not good to be president for one day. And we ask the question, what if you had died, Madam Sirleaf? Wasn't this the man you had left for us to be president? If you had confidence that he could replace you, we need that confidence today. And I said to every Liberian, whether Mr. Cummings decides to come or run on his own, the elections will be between two persons, President Weah and Joseph Nyeman Boakai. And the reason why I say so, because the Unity Party we see today is a conglomeration or cooperation that took place between the Liberian People's Party, Kesali, and the party of Jackson F. Doe, the Liberian Action Party with the rooster. It was that party that Ellen brought to the Unity Party. So today, Nima is falling because the Unity Party is a collaboration between Jackson Doe Party and Kesali Party. It does not belong to any other party. Now, Liberian Action Party, Jackson F. Doe Party, and that of the Liberian People's Party or Liberal Party of Kesali, combined together, is now joined by the Movement for Democracy and Reconstruction of Prince Johnson. Either way you take it, it's Jackson F. Doe, it's Kesali, and it's Prince Johnson. Be not deceived. Doe from Grand Jida took money back from Lofa. When Ellen came, she had the support of Prince Johnson. She took Boakai from Lofa. Today, Baka from Lofa is picking a son for Nimba, as we're told. If you cannot win Nimba, and you cannot win Lofa, and you don't have the support of Jeremiah Slonter, who was your VP pick, Bon County, Honor Henry Yala, and Dr. Henry Topa, as well as Prince Moi and the rest of the crew. If you cannot go down to Paso
30 seconds
and defeat Jeremiah, not Jeremiah, or Nyomri Kanga, Besonga Finley, and the rest of the crew, forget it. If you cannot go to Magidi and take Magidi from Tanapolo, as well as Nukwe, who went as VP to the old man, it is finished. As for Monserrato, records have shown it has always been an opposition enclave, but the election will be between two men, George Weah and Joseph Nima Boaka. Any other vote going any other place is wasted vote. Do not waste your vote. You are coming to the U.S. You something about it. I don't want to go and I don't want to give you the say, that he will tell you, you're who they want to talk. That he will tell you that you're coming to the U.S. You're not supposed to start the passport and you go back. That he will tell you, no, I will not tell you, no. That he will tell you that you're not supposed to get a foreign minister girlfriend and to have a permanent mission, knowing that you want Thomas Williams. That he will tell you, I will not tell you, that he will tell you. That he will tell you that you see that way. There's no hand on nothing about diplomacy, no foreign policy experience. Because you're not a fool. That he will tell you, I will not tell you, that he will tell you. That he will tell you that your government is weakening day by day. You can't see it. That he will tell you, I will not tell you, that he will tell you. That he will tell you that your people are sent, ask you to investigate them. After you have told the whole country, you will investigate them. They beg you to investigate them. That he will tell you to investigate them. For you to them. That he will tell you, Mr. President, ever told you to fire the ambassador 2 days before you arrive. So, whoever you decide now, you decide it on the text. So you and I know that ambassador content will not be alive. You will be over for your food. And the people you carry with, most of them don't know the U.S. Now he will tell you, I will not tell you. Thank you, good day. I will not tell you anything that me supposed to tell you. Don't be eating lobster while people then eating dry red. That me supposed to tell you. That me supposed to tell you 3 more your employee then not take your finance minister killed on the cover attack there. Paying IMF to gain $40 million, but he forget he just weigh 14 million. That me must tell you. He tell the person he signed $50 billion MOU. They put in and you get 40 million. Then he say, have they give me money? You just signed 50 billion. That me must tell you. Who gave you money when you're playing with billions? Now he begging the country will erupt. I pray to God, Liberians, you'll be patient. I respectfully submit. They're not benefit popping from my mouth. That baby bottle are sucking the milk dripping.
I already buy my suit for JMB inauguration of Fagon because the way you're talking, I don't need to go JMB win.
You know, you see nothing earlier. That Blackberry, when JMB stepped to that Blackberry.
Oh, trust me, a JMB win, a JMB coming dedicate. Me, my own, I can tell you, by the time the election finish, anybody win at my president. We'll find a way where we.
Drugs they coming carry to that Blackberry. $100 million worth of cooking, $40 million worth of the business you eat.
Anybody who win, George Weah is my president right now. Until after October, he's not my president anymore.
Okay, let me say my own too. George Weah is my resident right now.
Fair enough.
Look how Remy Gray looking.
Because you can't tell all. You can't tell all.
Where is Jeremiah Slonter?
You can't tell all.
Where is Ellen Johnson Sirleaf? Where is President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf?
Look for that song. You can't tell all.
Oh, she in Jele Joy. Oh, but in Barcelona is in
Why is our
Swako.
son? You can't talk all.
Who tell you
Why
in
you can't
Swako?
get
Now
our
on the
son?
team with JMB,
He
he
in
says Swako.
Swako.
Sonny
You
wrong with
can't
you.
talk all. Look for our
What
son.
that train at JMB? What can leave or
The
rehab?
bank who VP, they hire a VP for him.
But when that train from JMB, what can leave rehab? Like no road. What play can go?
The tire
Where
ball.
road the tree?
Yeah.
I beg you out.
What kind of road driving on?
Where for Sunday?
No, yeah, I think what kind of road driving on?
The
tire boss.
The funny thing about that tree, he can know you.
The tree not working.
The color, the Kumi's color, yellow.
Now what place?
The tree boss. The whole tire. Tree not get tired, but their own tree get tired.
People say your tree running on tire, not running on iron steel or iron ring.
Your tree running on tire.
You saw it on the live feed. You saw it. Somebody said, look at you, Remy Gray. Your own tree get tired, we can pause.
That the comments on the show me again, Joe. That's my favorite section on the whole show.
The guy said, look at you, Remy Gray. Your own tree get tired, we can pause.
Somebody bring money to that bureau. The man say he wants to spend money.
Everybody
get vexed. I didn't get it, man.
When that tire, when your tire boss, that had it, that you know, that your car can need what?
The thing about it, you brought the tree on your party color yellow.
No, that y'all say who get it? Oh, the clean tree on the show, yeah. That United Party clean tree.
United Party color is green and white.
Yeah, United Party tree. I know about the tree. The tree can either be by one Joma Jala.
There you go.
He's on the live here. Joma Jala consulted with Fagon before that. They are all United Party people.
Look, Team Kude, you not see that other picture where the two cows then hauling the ambulance?
Yeah, I saw it.
The ambulance they make a mistake. Now they want to bring it for some people they feel it.
Now Joma Jala and Monica get at you.
Gentlemen, nice show. Thank you very much.
All right, bro. Thank you.
Okay, so folks, that's it. Join us on tomorrow. That's Monday, right? Yeah, Monday.
He's just sleepy, so you're confused.
Join us Saturday. Yes, join us on Saturday. Tomorrow for another edition of the show.
Yeah, Saturday, which is tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay, goodbye.
Friday. I know you just sleepy, brother, and I believe you. Thank you, my brother. All right, guys. We'll see you all.
Spunk will tell you what is happening in Africa.